Yay, okay. I think everything is going. Volume's up. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and pull out our background. Looks good. Hey, oh, my hair. My hair looks hilarious. Okay. Got all my cords twisted here. All right. So, how do you morally justify your animal use? Oh, let me flip my camera. Oh, you can't see me, I guess, now. There we go. Let's see, maybe it's this way? Yes, there we go. Now you can actually read my shirt. All right, so how do you morally justify your animal use? I have some resources. Over here I have Dominion. It's 2 hours long, but it goes over most of the animals that we use and their standard practices. If you're going to continue to demand animals be used or brought into existence for you to use, then you should see what it is you're demanding. Below that, I have Dairy is Scary. If you consume dairy, you should definitely check this out. It shows you what's inherent, meaning what needs to happen in order to create dairy. Like what is not separable? What can you not separate? This is necessary. This is crucial to making it. So definitely find out what it takes to make dairy. And then we also have on the other side, nutritionfacts.org. It's just a great place to start. They have on nutritionfacts.org, they have a bunch of studies, and they have a bunch of videos breaking down the studies. They show you their resources and you can read the studies yourself, but it's a team of people and they tell you what the consensus is, or at least the most common opinion, and why. Like what makes something healthy? What does it mean to be healthy? So definitely check out that resource. They have what's called the Vegan Daily Dozen, which is just a really easy way to make sure you get everything you need in a day if you're worried about your nutrition. But I'm not here to argue about which is better to consume animals or plants. I think that yes, you can still live healthy using animals, but that's not the point. The point is that those animals are sentient, just like you. And if you wouldn't tolerate being enslaved, having your consent ignored and your autonomy violated, then you should reflect that same respect to other sentient beings who have a similar capacity or have the same capacity to have their own subjective experience, who have their own ability to experience suffering, joy. They can experience emotions, subjective emotions. So if they're similar to us in that way and you want those qualities respected in you, you should respect others. Exactly. Hey, Freesia, it's good to see you. Okay, I think I have everything done now. I'm going to put this down. Pull this up. Awesome. I am taking requests, but you got to be over 18. I don't believe in it. It's not that I don't believe in hunting. Hunting exists. It's more like, do you need to do it? Is that really necessary? Is it fair for the animal? I'm going to go with no. I mean, you're made out of food, right? So if the animals are food, you're food. Animals are what we call moral patients. They don't necessarily understand morality, or they don't really have the luxury or time or space to practice morality. We have to practice it to know it. You know, it's not something we're born with. I mean, we have some, idea of it, but we have to be taught by our parents. Don't do this. This is okay. This is a good thing. What if you consented to what? Even if you consent to something that someone else might not, it's important that someone got consent from you first, right? Or would you rather people just do whatever they want to you without asking for your consent, without care of whether you want it or not? All right, I've got some requests. Michael. Hey, are you over 18?
Yep.
All right. So how do you morally justify your animal use?
That's the way it's been for hundreds of thousands of years. It's part of a life cycle. It's the way of things.
Can you think back to a time when humans were doing an atrocity for hundreds of years, if not longer, and they changed?
Wait, what?
Can you think back in human history? So I hope you've learned something about human history, right? All the trials and errors that we've gone through for rights. Can you think of a time when humans were denying someone else their rights for a very long time, but then they realized that was
Nobody gives a
wrong
fuck
and they
about the
stopped
news.
and they made change? Can you think back to another time?
Nobody gives a shit about
Do you want to have
fucking.
a conversation, or are you just up here to be an ass?
I mean, we can have a conversation, but
Can we?
nobody gives a shit about.
Okay. I don't care about everyone else. I want to talk to somebody that can speak for themselves instead of deflecting like a coward. So let's try again. Hey, baby ragdoll, are you over 18?
Yeah.
No. Username. Are you over 18? Wow, I don't know what that was. That sounded nasty. Bob Gnarly, are you over 18?
Yo, it's good. Yeah, I'm 32.
Okay, right on. How do you morally justify your animal use?
Morally justify it. Um, well, I've never been asked to morally justify my animal use, but when I think about it and I ask myself like what I justify, well, I understand like human beings as probably, the most powerful entity in the world, in the universe, to known at this time. I don't go up to a lion and ask lions to justify their diets, nor do I go up to a gazelle and ask a gazelle to justify their diets. I
Jeffrey
understand that we're
Dahmer.
conscious.
What
Like
about
I, let
Jeffrey
me,
Dahmer?
yeah, I understand that we're conscious.
What about Jeffrey Dahmer? Do you think that we should have gone up to Jeffrey Dahmer and told him to stop, or should we have just let him continue to eat humans?
So you're comparing Jeffrey Dahmer,
So you can't answer my
a
question?
known, a known.
Can you answer my question before you start having fake
Well,
outrage?
I would like to.
I'll move on
I
if
am
you
answering
can't
your
answer
question.
it.
I am. I'm trying
So
to.
should we have confronted Jeffrey Dahmer, or should we have allowed him to continue what he was doing? He's just a carnist.
Well, yeah. So you're what you're doing is like you're watering down.
Okay. I don't really care to go meta about the conversation. I'd rather you just be honest and talk to me. So let's try again. Hey, Lone Sailor, are you over 18?
I'm 24.
Right on. How do you morally justify your animal use?
So I justify my animal use. Now, this is just me. You don't have to believe the same way I do.
Oh, of course.
I
I'm
believe
only
you.
asking your opinion.
Okay,
That's
so,
why I ask about your use and how do you morally justify it.
all right, so in my personal opinion, I'm a Christian. I believe humans are a lot different than animals. We have a soul. Animals have emotions. They do. They have feelings. They can feel pain and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But we're the only ones that have a soul that goes to what I believe to be the afterlife. And that
Okay.
sets us apart innately by nature
Okay.
from
So
a
you're
regular
selling,
animal.
so if I'm understanding correctly, you get to go on to an afterlife after this. So you get a second life, whereas the
Yes, that's what I
animals,
believe.
whereas the animals only have this life.
That is correct.
And you're taking it away from them early because you want to lick their insides.
Well, it also says in the Bible, to
Is that okay
be
though?
good
Does that
steward
sound
of the
fair?
creation, in my belief. In
Does
my
that sound
belief, I
fair?
think it's fair
It's
because
fair to
we're
take someone's life when they only have the one life?
yes, in my worldview of animals, yes.
Why?
Now for you, no, because I
No,
believe
I'm
that
not.
animals.
Lone, stop. You don't need to talk about me. Just talk about yourself, okay? I don't care what you think about me. I want to know why you think it's okay to take someone's life, especially when you get a second life and you don't even need to take their life. So why are you morally justified to take their life when you have other options?
Because I do not have as good of a chance of surviving without eating meat
What makes you
as
think
other
that?
animals. Pardon?
What makes you think that you're not going to survive without eating animals?
Well, I have a family friend who was raised vegan, and they are a lot less healthier.
So one person and you think that's all veganism?
Well, a lot of vegans, but
So when you look at the world, do you just connect dots or do you look for evidence?
I look for evidence. I look at
Okay.
what's a common trait
So
across the board.
what you just broke down is called an anecdote. It's not evidence, or it's at least a very low form of evidence. You should be looking for scientific evidence that's repeatable, falsifiable, right? That's how we know something is or isn't. Otherwise, you're just connecting dots. So, have you heard of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics?
I have heard mention of it, yes.
So they're the largest body of nutrition professionals that focus on how nutrition affects your health, right? They have come out with a paper that says a vegan diet, or not a paper, excuse me. They went over hundreds and thousands, not hundreds, thousands of studies, and they found that a vegan diet is safe and healthy for all stages of life, and it's even preventative for many of our ailments like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, even Alzheimer's. And they doubled down on it for adults. They came out with another opinion saying that it's even better to preventing a lot of our ailments. Like they found further evidence that it's even healthier for us. So knowing that you can not only survive using plants and fungi, but thrive, what morally justifies putting a feeling, emotional being through the slaughter system or through any animal ag system to be used when clearly they don't want to?
When you put it that way, you can't really, but it's just how I view an animal. Will I take care of an
So,
animal? Yes, because I believe they're part of God's creation, so I'm going to take care of it. But I'm
okay.
also going to utilize
Do
it.
you think God wants you to take the life of animals when you don't need to?
Not when you don't need to. He said be good stewards of it in
Okay,
Genesis.
so since you don't need to, because we already established you can get everything you need from plants, don't you think that your God would prefer you to live vegan?
No, never asked that question. It was never brought in the Bible.
Well, how about we look at your Bible? What's chapter 1?
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
And then
Genesis.
let's get to the Garden of Eden.
Let me actually, I can pull my Bible over here. Let me turn
Was
on
the
the light.
Garden of Eden the most perfect creation?
That is what it says in the Bible, because in the Bible, in my beliefs of it, says that was the perfect creation of everything. There was nothing wrong.
Was there death or evil in the
Not
Garden of
before
Eden?
we ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and
Right.
evil.
Not until sin entered the world, right? Not till the
Yeah.
fall. Right. So then it was more of a coping mechanism to survive the harsh environments, right?
To my knowledge, I have not gone into that section of the theology of whether we were herbivores or
That's
not.
fine. That's fine. It doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to relate it that most religions don't require that you use animals. And most of them actually preach kindness and mercy to animals. But because we live in a society that has been dominated by animal use, and honestly, we've been manipulated to consume animals more so than necessary, it's we have what's called cognitive dissonance. So you're getting this benefit, even though you don't need this benefit. It's not really giving you anything extra other than taste pleasure, you don't want to let that go. So what people as oppressors do to make themselves feel better is to demean their victims. So we say animals don't feel as much. Animals don't care about their life as much, right? When really we're finding out through science, through trial and error, through testing, falsifiable tests that have been repeated, animals are more like us than we thought. They feel just as intently. They have emotions. You know, they're having a subjective experience. And that's all we care about in each other, right? In other humans, I mean. That's all we care about, someone's sentience.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that argument of oldest time of, their humanity. It's a human right, or what's a basic human right?
Yeah. Does it matter if that human is intelligent?
No, I don't care if you're unborn, mentally challenged, or whatever. You're still a human being.
Does
You're
it
still a
matter?
human.
Does it matter if that individual can't speak?
No, it doesn't matter if you mute, if you're deaf, if you're
Does it
blind.
matter if that individual is mutated? Maybe they have a lot of hair on their body and they can't stand upright.
No, you're still a human. You're still creating
So,
God's image.
so what is the moral difference that makes it okay to mistreat God's animals, but not mistreat God's humans?
Humans were made in the image of God.
So it's
Animals
morally
were made to
acceptable to
glorify.
mistreat animals?
Yes, I'm going to stick by that.
That's so sad. So in your eyes, I can kick dogs for fun. I can breed dogs for dog fighting. Is that
I
moral?
don't do that, but if that's your choice,
I
you can
can
go
lock
ahead.
I can lock a dog in a hot car because I think it's funny. Is that moral? Do you think it's moral?
It's not being a good steward.
Right. I agree. Yeah, your God said that we should be good stewards to them. Does taking
Yeah.
someone's head off mean that you're taking care of them?
No, but
Right.
I don't
Do you
see
think the
animals the
animals
same.
want that? What do the animals want?
I know animals all have an innate desire to live, like
All
everything
sentient
does.
beings do. All sentient beings have a want. They want to survive. They want to avoid harm, right? They prefer to stay comfortable. We all share that. So that's why I was pointing out that in humans, all we care about is their sentience. We don't care about anything else. And animals share that with us. They have these exact same qualifiers. So like, why don't you share that mercy that you know other humans deserve? Why don't you share that mercy with other individuals that have similar capacities, the subjective experience, the ability to suffer?
Because I do not see animals on the same level of
Okay. So let's say
respect.
I don't see mentally handicapped people as the same, right? Like I see like because they're lesser than me, I can use them as slaves. How are you going to change my mind?
I wouldn't give you a chance to change your mind.
What do you mean?
If we were in a day of
Oh, you mean you would
age
just
drama,
harm me? Is that what you
I
mean?
would harm you because you're
Oh,
harming
okay.
another human being
I mean,
unjustly.
I understand the feeling, but that's not exactly going to make change, right? Like, I do agree that I don't care as much about the oppressor. I care more about the victim, right? Someone is suffering, and that's what matters, right?
Sure. So,
But I'm
so here's
talking to
what.
you, and I'm trying to ask you, why aren't you giving that same mercy? Because right now you are the oppressor, and you have a victim.
I don't see us as oppressors, and here's why. I'll just
Do
read
you know what
from.
oppression means? It
Yeah, you're
means to treat someone
forcefully.
cruelly. To remove someone's head, is that fair or cruel?
That's cruel.
Right. So oppression, you don't think we're not doing oppression to animals?
No, because they're not humans.
You just admitted that taking their head off.
You said someone's. You're not staying
So a
consistent. You're
someone having a subjective experience in a different shaped body is not a someone? Like, you
um
still haven't told me the difference between the morally relevant difference. I mean, there's huge differences between us and animals. There's huge differences between you and me.
well,
But
here's the moral thing right here.
what's the morally relevant difference? That means when you say the difference, if I apply it to humans, right? Like, I'm trying to show you that we're so similar, and your excuses can still be shown in humans, and then you have a contradiction. Like, there's no morally relevant difference between us that justifies harming one and not the other.
Here's where my moral justification comes from. God said, let us make man in our own image, our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea,
Again,
birds
you
of the
go
air,
back to
over
your
livestock,
religion.
over all the earth, and all
Listen,
the creatures.
listen, I know you want to preach the gospel and save a bunch of people's souls. I get it. But the point is, I'm talking to you, you could save a bunch of animal souls right now. I know you don't believe they have a soul, but they have this life right now. And again, you're taking it away from them early. So they have the one and only life. You get 2 lives. You get to now take their life at your own convenience. So they get no more experiences, even though they desperately wanted to stay alive just as much as you do. And you think that's fair? I think that most people would think that you're not actually listening to your God, and you're just using it as an excuse to say, I don't have to think about this. You already agreed that causing animal abuse is immoral, right? Putting a dog in a hot car, breeding dogs to dogfight. You agreed that that's wrong. So why is it okay to do it to cows, pigs, chickens, fish? Why is it okay to do it to them? You're muted.
You kill all the moles, the bugs, the worms. How cute does an animal have to be before you?
I mean, are you here in good faith? Because you're like bringing up all the vegan bingo cards. Like, this is hilarious. Crop deaths? What do the animals you use eat? 83% of our current agricultural land is dedicated to raising animals and their food. 83. And they only give us 18% of our total global calories, and I think like 30% of our total global protein. That means 70% of your protein is coming from plants, right? That means that 92% of your calories are coming from plants and fungi. But we're wasting 83% of our land for animals? That doesn't make sense. If you're worried about crop deaths, you would go vegan. Fewer animals passing away in those monocrops, as most of those are fed to animals. You're still muted. Okay. Well, I don't know if you're not finding the mute button or if you're trying to just sit there. We'll just move on. Yeah, no religion justifies violating someone's autonomy. Okay? I don't care who you are. I care about my autonomy. You don't have rights over this. I'm in here. The animals are the same. There's someone in there. Yes, someone. I understand our definitions are speciesist. There was a time when our definitions were racist. And sexist. They didn't include women or people of other nations as human. And we've now changed, right? We've evolved because victims were still victims then, and they wanted their liberation. All right. Hey, Benjamin, are you over 18?
Yes, I am 28.
Okay. How do you morally justify your animal use?
Okay, so basically, I don't think that it makes sense to say that our human morality transcends across species, right? Because yes, I do care about my dog, and I love my dog, but it's not correct for me to marry my dog. Even though I care about my
Said to
dog
marry
cares
your
about
dog.
me. I would never
I never
marry
said.
my dog.
Do you understand what rights I'm speaking of? Because you sound silly right now.
Yes, you're talking about moral
Do you know what
rights.
inherent rights are?
Inherent rights. Inherent
What are
rights.
inherent rights? What does inherent mean?
Inherent means you're born with them.
Right. Do you think humans have inherent rights?
I think humans do have inherent rights.
Inherent rights to their autonomy?
Yes.
Inherent
However,
rights to their freedom? To their
yes.
consent being morally considered?
Correct.
Okay, so what is the morally relevant difference between animals and humans that makes it okay for us to violate animals' autonomy and not ask for their consent?
What I think is animals don't have the same inherent human rights
Have
because we
all
have a
of the same
contract
rights.
ourselves.
Animals have rights, but the rights that they are interested in, right? They want to have their autonomy. They want to have their freedom, right? They want to have their
They,
families.
they certainly would, but the thing is that we evolved on separate paths, right? The dog
Makes
evolved on
right.
one path,
So might makes
and
right.
human. Hmm?
So might makes right.
No, it's not might. It's not
You
might.
just said because we've evolved, therefore we're better than them and we can
No.
dominate
We've
them.
evolved on different paths, not better paths
What is
or
your
whatever.
point? What does that matter?
I'm saying that we're separate species, right? And so you can't necessarily treat your own species the same as another species.
Say you need to treat them the same. I'm saying you can recognize that they have the capacity to suffer and you can respect that by not demanding that they be enslaved and used for you.
Right.
That's it.
The thing is that back to this evolution is that we evolved. We are literally made out of the habit of eating meat. Like if we didn't eat meat, we wouldn't
No,
be the same
Benjamin,
species.
listen. It doesn't matter what our ancestors did, okay? My ancestors tried to justify human slavery by saying it was their right and that they were the superior being, okay?
Yeah, but there wasn't a
It's not
biological
true.
slave.
They
There
thought
wasn't a biological slave. There was
they thought there
biological meat
was.
eaters.
They thought there was. They
But there
literally
wasn't.
compared. I understand, but don't you think that you're on the wrong side of history because you're saying the same arguments as the supremacists?
No, because it's not my opinion that we evolved to eat meat.
You
It's a
just
fact that we
said
evolved
you're
to eat
using
meat.
this as your excuse to cut someone's throat or to steal their family so you can drink fluid out of them.
Not a
This is
human. Not
this
a
is
human.
your justification. Well, you need to tell me the morally relevant difference because I'm getting confused. What is the
The
morally
morally
relevant
relevant
difference?
difference. The morally relevant difference is that when you talk about the entirety of the animal kingdom, morality morality doesn't transfer across
Okay,
species,
so we have
right? You
humans.
treat your own the same.
We have humans that cannot reflect morality. They don't understand it and they never will. Is it okay for me to exploit them?
No, because they're our species.
So it's purely about DNA?
It's about being the same group, right? It's about
So
being the
it's in
same
group. You
colony.
just admitted it's in group. So you're saying my group is okay, but even though this group shares the capacity to suffer, they're having their own subjective experience because you're outside of my group, I can
We
dominate you. I can
we
take
have
your
common
life,
traits.
I can steal your children, and I can lick your insides. That's what you
We
just
have
said.
common traits with these animals.
Okay.
One of them is
Are you here to actually have a conversation because I'm giving you responses and you're literally just shifting the goalposts. And I will just move on. Do you recognize that I'm batting down your BS excuses?
I have
Animals
never
feel.
introduced.
What justifies taking an animal's head off but not a human's head off? Tell me.
The specific answer to that question would be because they do it and every other animal
So
does it to
because
every
an
other animal.
animal over there does something you think is immoral, you now have the moral justification to do it to somebody else.
I think that is how equality works.
I don't think you understand what you just said. You said
I
that
think that's
person over
equal. Like if
there,
they could do it to us.
you just said that person over there did something bad. So because Jeffrey Dahmer ate people, I'm morally justified now to eat people.
No, I'm
You
morally
just said
justified
that's how
to eat
morality
Jeffrey Dahmer.
works. You just said that's how
I
morality
mean,
works.
no. If
You
Jeffrey
said that's
Dahmer
how
tries to
morality
eat me, I
works.
can eat him.
Why can't I eat
No, I
humans? Why
said
can't I
that's not what I
why
said.
okay, you know what? We're gonna move on. I don't care to talk to people that are being disingenuous. Like, good effing God. Hey Freesia.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Right on.
It's a Monday.
It is a Monday for sure. I really don't understand how people don't see when they say they're not in my group. Like, well, that's just like every other ism. Sexism, racism, right? They're not part of my group, therefore it's okay for me to dominate them because I don't relate with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so wrong.
He even said it. He even said they're not in my group. Oh, so it is group. It's in group. You just said it.
Like you're allowed to oppress and exploit others because they aren't in your quote unquote group. Like that's a pretty disturbing way to think of things.
Hella disturbing. Yeah. All right. Are you ready to take on some of these people?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's do it. Virgil. Hey, are you over 18?
Yeah.
Right on. So how do you morally justify your animal use?
Actually, I'm not really familiar with a lot of vegan values.
That's okay.
I was just gonna ask you a
It's
couple of
better.
questions.
It's actually better that you don't. Just first answer my question, and I would love to answer any of yours.
Sure. Can you repeat it again? How do I? Oh, I see.
it-
How do I morally justify animal
Your
use?
animal use, yeah.
Okay. So I'm using an animal. Like, let's see. I just ate a chicken sandwich.
Yeah,
So
that would be an example of using someone's body for your pleasure. Yes.
okay. All right. Cool. Let's see. I in my mind, I just grew up eating meat and vegetables and just a variety of different foods. I learned all the typical stuff about I'm a human being. I'm an omnivore. So I used it for sustenance.
All right. So just habit.
Yeah, I didn't have any intention on the animal suffering or any of that. I just ate an animal because I was hungry.
Okay. Do you understand that animals are sentient? That they can experience subjective emotions?
I don't know if I really. I don't think anybody really has a full. The question of consciousness, right, is kind of one of the main sticking
Evidence
points
for
in
you.
science. Like, there's a hard question of consciousness.
I have
So
evidence for you. Would that change your mind?
I mean, that's something I'm actually really interested in, and like I follow a lot of different people, and I read scientific papers on consciousness. I've been trying to figure that out for you. I'm 43 years old. I've
Do
been
you
reading about
know?
that since I was
Do
a
you know?
teenager.
Do you know about the Cambridge Declaration of Consciousness?
No, what's that
All
one?
right. They go over thousands of studies. The same thing with the New York Declaration of Consciousness. They go over thousands of behavioral studies and they look at the animal's anatomy and they find that animals are much more like us than we thought. They're sentient. They
In what
experience.
ways? Like, what is sentience to you?
Sentience means the ability to experience subjective feelings like pain, joy, sorrow.
And to understand it, to think about the
It's
fact that
not necessarily, they are conscious. Some animals do think about it, yes. But
well,
sentience is just the bare minimum of you're experiencing life and you're making preferences. You prefer to avoid harm. You
well,
would like to be comfortable. That's all
some
sentient
neuro,
beings. No, that is
some
all sentient.
neuroscientists
Nope,
think that
all
you
sentient beings.
require. Oh,
That's
I'm
all
sorry.
sentient. That's all sentient beings.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that some neuroscientists believe that you require something like a Wernicke's complex in your brain, like only humans have that, where
No,
we can think about
that's not
thinking about
true.
things.
No. We are talking about sentience. I'm not talking about sapience. I'm not
Okay,
talking about
okay,
intelligence. I'm talking about
okay.
sentience.
Well, are you religious?
No.
Are you a moral relativist?
I actually don't know. I haven't looked into that.
Okay, well, where
So
do
what?
your
It's
what's
not
the
about
root of
me,
your moral?
Virgil. It's about you. I'm asking you your principles and where you stand. So how do you feel about like animal exploitation? Do you think we should
Oh yeah,
respect animals?
yeah. I don't prefer to abuse animals, not
Okay.
because I think that they're, as you would put it, I guess, sapient. I don't think they're like human beings because they lack certain structures in their brains.
Can
Like
we respect
there's a
them while
variety of different.
can we respect them while using them without their consent?
Yeah, I think so.
How?
Well, the same way a lion does.
That's not respect. A lion is just surviving.
Can do you think a lion is an amoral creature?
Yes, because they don't understand morality or they don't have the luxury of time and space to practice morality.
Okay, so a lion is just a. So me, I'm incredibly poor right now. Like I'm
Okay.
destitute as I can. Couple months behind on rent. I'm
Yep.
struggling. I'm working a lot. My wife works a lot.
Well, you'll
Am
be
I not the
happy to
same
know.
as?
You'll be really happy to know that a vegan diet is actually cheaper.
Okay, well, it requires a lot to convert my entire family over to veganism,
Oh,
and
just
it
worry
would and it
about
would be.
yourself first. Worry about
Well,
yourself
okay.
first.
Hang on. Just let me. engage in the debate a little bit. All
I
right.
mean,
So
you're the one
we've
coming up
I
with
think we've
excuses.
understood.
You're the one that's shotgunning, and I'm just trying to keep up with you. So if you want me to answer one at a time, ask one question at a time, and then we'll go
No.
through it.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Okay.
you're answering them, and then I understand. So I just move on to the next thing. But
Okay, so then don't be
let's stick with the
upset that I'm
lion. Let's stick
talking
with the
over
lion
you.
thing.
Don't be upset that I'm talking over you, though, when I'm trying to answer it.
Well,
Because, like I said, you're
I don't
shotgunning.
really prefer getting interrupted before I can get out in a
Well,
complete
I
thought.
mean, you
But
can
that's
leave.
whatever. I don't know.
I will continue to interrupt you. So if you can't handle it, you might maybe
No, that's
leave.
fine. That's whatever.
Okay.
Some people do that. I can,
Yeah.
I can handle it.
Cool.
Okay, so let's stick with the lion thing then. Let's just stick with that. So you see a lion as an amoral creature. Okay,
Not
so
necessarily amoral. I did say yes, but not necessarily amoral. I just don't think they have the luxury of time and space to practice morality.
what would a world look like where a lion did have that luxury?
They would have something else to eat.
Okay, so a lion, but I mean, lions do have other things that they could eat in nature, right?
Yeah, but again, they're doing what they were taught to just survive. They're surviving every day, right? I can't speak lion. We can't really talk about our morals, right? But I can talk to you. I can talk to you about your morals. And I think that humans should kind of focus on our actions before we start talking about other nations and what they should do.
Well, that's why I shifted.
So why are
That's,
you demanding that animals be used when you don't need to? Do you shop at a grocery store?
well, I explained it to you. I already answered
Do
your
you shop
question
at a
on that.
grocery store?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay. So that means you have options: beans, rice, local fruits and vegetables, frozen
Yeah,
fruits and vegetables, cans of fruits and vegetables. So
right.
you have options. A lion does not. You
Okay,
are a
so if we
moral
gave
agent.
lion,
You are a moral agent. You weigh out what's right and wrong, right?
right?
You
Okay,
have that
so a
capacity and
lion does
luxury.
have other options. There are other things that a lion in this.
Hold on. So Virgil, I just want to clarify what it is that you're saying here. Are you comparing humans and our ability as a human and our ability to see what's right and wrong as humans to lions? Are you getting your morality from lions?
We're all the same thing, right? You said I was the same as a
No,
lion.
no. You are not the same as a lion. You are a human. You are not a
So
lion.
different. What
Do
makes me
you
different from a
get
lion?
do you get your morals from what lions do?
No, I already answered
No.
that question on my morals. So
Okay,
where I get them from.
then why are you talking about lions?
Oh, I'm debating. So I'm trying to understand your side,
No,
and you should try to understand my side so that we can
comparing
come
yourself to
together.
a lion and saying that you're getting your morals from a lion because
I didn't say I was getting my morals from a lion
then why'd you bring up lions? You're a
because
human
I'm
being.
trying to understand you. I'm arguing in good faith by trying to understand you. I could just be like, oh, the Bible, or some crap like that, but
I
I'm
don't
not.
think that comparing
I want
yourself
to
to a
understand
lion
where
is arguing
you're.
in good faith.
No, I am. I'm truly trying to understand where you're coming from. I really do want to understand.
Okay, so where I'm coming from is I'm saying that it is wrong to use our fellow animals. It is wrong to exploit them. It is wrong to oppress them. It is wrong to farm them. It
I
is wrong to
understand
eat
that.
their flesh. It is wrong to take their life. That's
I
what I'm
understand that.
saying.
No, I fully understand that. That's the whole basis of veganism in the first place. That's not a hard thing for me to understand. What I want to understand, since she said she's not religious, and I'm sorry,
You
I
don't
don't know what you
actually
know of.
understand what veganism is because
No,
you keep talking about lions. Veganism is a principled stance against against the exploitation of sentient beings.
right,
Specifically human-caused exploitation. So
right.
vegans
I
are
understand
against
that.
human-caused exploitation to sentient
Right.
beings.
You're just
You're
teaching me the
bringing
same
up
thing over and
lions
over
and we're not lions.
because you're not
So
letting me
it
finish
has
my point.
nothing to do, it has nothing, are you listening? It has nothing to do with veganism. Lions are not
Right.
humans. I'm talking to a human who is demanding that individuals be born into existence so that you can lick their insides when you do not need to.
I'm not demanding that. If they come up with lab-grown meat or
If you
something,
buy
I would
products,
totally switch to that.
do you know what supply and demand is?
I want to know what your moral basis for.
Freesia, go ahead. I'm done.
I don't understand what he's asking for, honestly. Like I don't understand why he's up here. I mean, Virgil, maybe you can tell me why did you come up here? Why did you request? Why did you request to? Because the question is, how do you morally justify animal use? So that's what we're asking. How do you morally justify animal use?
Oh, she muted me. Am I here?
Yes.
Okay, so please just let me finish the thought. I promise I'll answer your
Hold
question
on.
first.
Okay.
I'm answering your question first, and then I'm gonna segue into my own. And can you please reciprocate?
If you answer the question,
Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna
then
answer.
I will
How do I
answer
morally
what you had
justify
just
it?
said. But
I'm gonna
let's
give
not.
you I'm gonna give you the
No,
basis for my
hold on.
morality first. Because that's all I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out what you think morality is.
Go
Okay,
on for a
so
long time because I don't want to
no,
sit here and listen. Okay.
okay, so I think that my basis of morality, I'm not a religious person. I think that it's raising all boats, right? Raising all like one a tide raises all boats. Like we are all in this
No idea
together,
what you're saying.
right?
That doesn't make
So
sense.
I believe that human beings have a different brain than most creatures do. I think a brain is like a radio that can tune into certain frequencies of consciousness, right? That's
This is a silly
right, and
excuse.
we're able to tune in. But that's what you asked me. I'm just telling you. You don't have to agree with it.
Not
And
all
now I'm going to
humans have
ask
the
you,
same brain.
where does your morality? Where's the basis of your morality come from? You're not religious.
Hold on.
So what is the
How
underlying
is what you're
reality that you
saying?
believe in?
How is what you're saying that you have a different brain from other animals? How does that justify you using them?
I don't. How do you? How would it not justify? They aren't. They're like robots. They're not sentient creatures to me.
Do you have a cat or a dog?
Yeah, I have both.
Okay. And what's your dog's name?
Lance. He's a cool little guy.
You say Lance?
Yeah, Lance. My daughter named him. She was like 3. It was a weird name.
Okay. And you said he's a cool little guy.
Yeah.
Okay. What about him makes him cool?
I don't know. He just kind of lounges around. He's entertaining. He's not really. I don't think he's really happy in like a sentient or sapient sense, but he seems to be happy and he entertains me and my family.
So he seems to be happy. What does he do to show happiness?
It just what dogs do typically in or canine creatures in nature. He like runs around, does little zoomies, pants, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
So what do humans do to express happiness in a physical
We
way?
smile and we laugh.
We smile, we laugh.
Right.
Maybe we get energetic. Maybe we get really excited to see someone, want to give them a hug.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And would you say that Lance, when he gets excited and wants to see someone, he's maybe wants to give them his own hug in his dog way?
Yeah. But it's not. He doesn't have the ability to think of that, to think about what he's doing. He just does it.
You don't think that he actually is thinking he's excited? Do you think
No,
excited
not at
is
all.
an emotion?
No. Well, I mean, you can have emotion without sentience.
You can't actually,
Why not?
because that's not the definition of
The
sentience.
definition of sentience
It's not emotion.
It's the
it's
ability.
subjective.
No, it's qualia. It's the ability to experience.
Oh, okay. If you want to keep going,
No, we're done. You
No, I
clearly
think this
don't
is a
know
great
it.
debate. No, I think we're really
no,
getting to
you
the
need to
basis
go
of it.
look up sentience. You need to
No,
look
it's
up
like
the
the-
definition of sentience.
Let me
Go
say
look
one
it
more
up.
thing because I'm
Go
sure
look
you're
it
going
up.
to mute me or kick me.
I am
Can I
going
just
to
say
kick
one more
you.
thing and I'll
I
leave you
don't
alone?
know. I don't know if I really want you to because you're spreading misinformation right now. So I'm just going to drop you.
he literally described how his dog was sentient in so many ways, and then is like, but Lance isn't sentient.
Yeah, it's like he's got emotion, but not sentient emotion. Like, what? That is
Yeah.
sentience. Sentience is experiencing subjective emotions. That is the definition.
Like you're telling me that you have a cat and a dog and they aren't sentient and they're robots, when he just described how Lance is not a robot.
Right, Lance is unique. Lance is
Yeah.
not like other dogs. Yeah, that's just being dishonest, but I think he actually believes his dishonesty, which is really sad, but that's cognitive dissonance for you. He's holding on to this idea that he enjoys the flavor or whatever benefit he is getting from it, and he's like, that is worth so much more than what the animal wants. Like they want their autonomy and they want their life. That doesn't matter to them as much as me wanting that taste. Like your pleasures matter more than someone's experiences. That's not right.
No, it's not right. Like 15 minutes of taste pleasure does not justify exploiting someone or taking their life.
We say it all the time, right? Humans are called long pig. We know that humans ate other humans. Apparently, we taste like bacon. Does that morally justify turning humans systematically into bacon? To go unalive a human that's happy and enjoying their life because, hey, they're high welfare, Time for bacon.
Oh gosh, such a disturbing thought.
Oh, totally. I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer, and actually, it wasn't just Jeffrey Dahmer. I just point to him because he's so famous. But sadly, here in America, when we were enslaving humans, they were eating their enslaved peoples
Yeah,
and thought that was moral. It's
yeah.
disgusting. There's
It's
cookbooks.
absolutely. I know. It's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. But they said the same things. And it's like, do you guys not hear that you're speaking like a YT supremacist? It's terrible. Okay. Queshley. I actually don't know if I pronounced that right. I'm sorry if I butchered it. Are you over 18?
Yes, can you hear me?
Say it one more time.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Are you over 18?
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I'm over 18.
Okay. Is your name Queshley? Queshl?
That's not actually my name, but
Oh, what would you prefer me to call you?
just call Michael.
Michael. Okay. Michael,
Yeah.
how do you morally justify your animal use?
I don't think animals are on the same level as humans. I'm gonna start with that, okay?
So, just because someone's not on the same level with you, it's okay to exploit them?
Because it's different. Okay, so it's different levels, right? And I don't mean in terms of like it's essentially a different
What's a
hierarchy,
level?
right?
I'm not sure if I know what a level is.
Well, okay, I mean it more like a hierarchy, right?
What do you mean? Like, describe what makes us a higher.
So
What makes
essentially,
us
right?
higher? I
Like,
guess.
okay, so I mean, essentially, I don't think plants and animals are the same level, right?
The plants
We're
aren't
on that
sentient.
same plane.
Plants aren't sentient.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so animals are like I understand animals have emotion, right? Animals are sentient, but I think what differentiates us and what makes us have more moral value that we can actually have morals, which is sapiens, right? Which is the
But
fact that we can have
go
yes,
ahead. No, go ahead. Finish. I thought you were done. Sorry.
it's the fact that we can have not just emotion, but we can actually have morals.
Okay. So, what about humans that don't have morals? Can we exploit them?
No, because you can because no one has no morals, right? It's like even though you may say you don't have morals, right? And they may like not be morals that are socially acceptable. Like I don't know, if you have killers, right? Who have their
I
morals
mean, more like,
are
what about humans that don't have their full cognition? Right. We
mm,
have elderly people that are losing cognition. We have people who have been bumped on the head. People born that way. Children that won't make it to adulthood. Right. So they
mm,
may have some idea of what morality is, but they don't necessarily understand morality. But they're sentient still.
mhm.
They're still experiencing life and making preferences.
Yeah,
Yeah. So why can't I exploit them?
because the fact that they actually even though they don't understand morality, they're it's not think of a way to explain this.
That's
Um,
okay. Take your time.
it's essentially the fact that they have sapiens, even if it's not developed sapiens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even though they don't obviously, yeah, they're not adults, right? Like for example,
Right.
if there's a child who's going to
Yeah.
die at 12, right? Even though they may not be able to develop their morals and everything, they still have. I mean, they still have sapiens, still have the brain capacity for this, right? Animals never
I'm not.
will have.
So they don't have. So animals do have some kind of sapience. A lot of them do, but they don't have necessarily the luxury of time and space to practice morality, right? Or they don't have someone they can communicate that can teach them what's right and wrong, other than just basic survival stuff, right?
Okay, so like like I know like we hate the lion expression, right? But I'm gonna say like a lion, for example, right? Because it's the first thing that came to mind. If you were to teach a lion, right, morals, would they ever understand it?
I think so. We have many animals that have been taken from fight or flight mode, right, out of their survival situation, and they do show morality. We actually even have studies on this. They looked at mice, and they found, yeah, lying again. They looked at mice. They had one trapped, and they would release another mouse, and the mouse had the option to release this trapped mouse and share the treats, or they could just leave the mouse trapped, and they could go eat all the treats themselves. And they found that like 60% of the time, the mice released the other mouse, which is on par with humans. They share
Yeah,
their
but
treats. So that shows that they have some kind of morality. They empathize with someone's suffering.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the
but
point
okay.
is that they don't really have options, right? You do. You go to a grocery store, you can choose between what it is that you're going to eat, whereas a lot of wild animals don't have those options. They just have what's available there. They don't have a grocery store. And again, they don't
But they
have the
biologically
time.
don't have those options as well, though.
Yeah, but they're not really aware of them. Like, even you and I didn't necessarily just automatically know what's right and wrong. We had to be taught, and taught over a long time. Because I'll tell you, when I was under 18, like all through those years, I did multiple times, I did things that were wrong that I look back on now. I'm like, why did I do that? But at the time, I didn't understand. I didn't think about the gravity of it, or I didn't understand what it was. And it's the same thing with the animals. They may do stuff that is immoral, but we don't hold them to the same standard as a fully cognizant, human adult, because we know that they don't understand the complexities of morality, which is important, right? Some children
Okay.
do understand some morality, but again, we don't hold them to the same standard if they did something immoral, because they may not understand the gravity of it or fully understand all the complexities, right?
Okay. But so okay, so if a baby, right, like I guess like the baby, if it
Yeah.
does something like wrong, right?
Okay.
Like would do you consider it, like, immoral if it had like
It
no
depends on
intention of
what it
doing
is.
something?
Like, let's say that this kid hurt an animal or unalived an animal, right? Just for fun. That's immoral. Yeah. And I would try to communicate with them if I could. Don't do that, right? And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm telling you, animals don't want to be used. Why are you continuing to perpetuate that they be enslaved and oppressed when you can just move your hand to something else?
Okay, so obviously I'm religious, right? And
Okay.
I don't want to bring religion because I know
I mean,
you
you
know
can, but it just doesn't
it's
matter.
mm,
Your religion, I'm sure, doesn't require that you use animals. That's why it's pointless to bring it up. So it's just a
well,
choice.
because I'm Catholic, right? And I mean
Okay.
I disagree, like, because in
Could
I
I
remember
could I
you
be
brought the
Catholic and vegan?
yeah.
Okay, so using animals is a choice. You don't have to use them.
Yeah, because it's not a necessity. It's not like saying being Catholic makes
Right.
you
So why
need
are
to eat
you why
animals,
are
but it
you
doesn't
in
make you not to need to eat
so
animals.
so can I be vegan and Catholic? That means I don't want to use animals ever. Can I be vegan and Catholic?
Yeah, but that's yeah, because that's
Okay, so
unrelated.
then so can you. That's my
Oh,
point. So you're
I mean,
bringing
yeah,
up
I
your
can.
religion. I understand that your religion says it's acceptable at some point, right? But that doesn't mean you have to. And I'm telling you, since we know right now that animals are sentient, that they can suffer and feel pain and even feel joy, right? Since we know that, why are we continuing to do this to them since we know we don't need to?
I'm sorry, can you repeat again?
Well, here, I'll put it in your religious terms. Would your God want you to continue to use animals even though you have other options? Does he want you to take the life of animals when you don't have to?
I don't think he has a position. I need a position on that, but I don't think it
Are
really
you sure?
matters.
Have you read your book? Because he does talk about the animals a lot.
Yeah, but what's more important? I mean, especially in religion, right?
So if
Especially
God
for
and the devil were in a room and there was a sheep in front
mhm.
of them, who's going to stab the sheep?
I mean, the devil, because God just wouldn't have a need to. He doesn't need to eat. The devil would
Okay,
just do
so
it.
then
But the devil would do it out of spite, though.
why are you supporting the devil and not God?
Because the devil wouldn't do it to eat the animal, right? The devil would just do it
So
out of
God
spite. Like,
would kill the animal? Because you don't need to eat the
well, no,
animal.
but God
That's what
doesn't
we're.
need to eat,
Remember, we
though.
already talked about it. You don't need to eat the animal. So you're literally doing it for entertainment purposes, your tongue entertainment. So what's the difference?
Well, I think biologically we do need animals.
What do you think you need from animals?
Carnitine, creatine,
Those are not
D2.
essential. Those are not okay. You can get all of those in vegan
Yeah,
sources,
you
but two
can't
of those
supplement
are
them.
not essential. Two of those are not essential. You don't need creatine in the other one. I don't remember what you said, but you only have 9 amino acids that you need to eat to make sure you get. But if you want to have those other things, there are vegan sources for those. The question is, do you enjoy demanding animals suffer for you, or would it be preferable if you could get everything you wanted and the animals could have their life and not be exploited? Which is preferable?
Obviously, yeah, okay. If there was an easier way to have it so that animals wouldn't get like, 'cause, I've seen videos of how the animals get killed, right? And I don't think they need to do it in the way that they do.
No, no,
Like
that's
they
not
don't
my
need to.
question though. That's not my question. My
Yeah.
question was, do you think that it's preferable for you to exploit the animals, or is it preferable for you to get all the taste pleasures and all those other things that you want, those other amino acids that aren't essential, and the animals are not exploited? You get those things from other sources. Which is more preferable? The animals being exploited explicitly, or them living free and not exploited? Which would you prefer?
I mean, we're putting it into terms that obviously seem
What do
like
you
if I were
think
to
the
say,
animals prefer?
well, I would think the animals would prefer to live if they can prefer,
If you were the
right?
animal, what would you prefer?
I probably wouldn't even know what's happening if I was an animal.
If you did know, you knew that it was coming, which would you prefer? To live or to
But then
be
I'd probably have
used
sapience then.
unnecessarily? Can you answer the question? Would you rather be used unnecessarily or left alone?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. If I was an animal that had sapience, then I would, of course, prefer to be left alone.
Okay, well, these animals are aware. Their senses are much more heightened than ours. I don't know if you know this. Cows can smell stress in other cows' urine. They can smell very large distances. They're very sensitive to loud sounds.
Hmm.
They are never in a good state of mind when they're in the slaughterhouse. They know where they're going. Pigs are even smarter. So you think this is fair that we do this to them? They are aware of what we're doing to them. Do you think it's fair?
Well, yeah, because they have this. The reason they have these, like, what do you call it? The reason they have that stuff is because survival,
You're not
and it's
answering
not
my
because of
question. Is it
sapience.
fair what we do to them knowing that they're aware of what's coming?
I think
And doesn't
I
it
think it
speak
is.
volumes that we have to trick them into being unalived? They themselves are still not consenting to this. We have to hide it from them.
I mean, how would we get their consent?
You can't. But
Well,
if
that's
a
yeah, that's
lady
the
is unconscious and you ask her if you can have sexual relations with her and she
okay.
can't respond, does that mean you get to do what you want? Or does that mean lack of consent means you don't have consent to do anything? What does that mean? What does lack of consent
That's
mean?
not at this that's not
What
the
does
same
lack
level though,
of
because one
what
of
can
them
you answer my question? What does lack of consent mean?
you cannot consent.
Right. Does that mean that anybody can do what they want to the one that's not consenting?
No, but and here's the
Right.
difference. Humans can actually give consent at a point. Just because they're, for example,
Not all.
unconscious, they
Not
can.
all. We talked about a group of people that don't understand morality. There are groups of people that can't speak, that don't understand what's going around them, but they're still
Yeah, but it's a
sentient.
cognitive thing, not just being able to say it. Just because you can't say it, right?
Right.
Like a
Animals
like
are
a deaf person who can't
cognizant.
speak.
Animals are conscious.
No more. I know, but they're not sap. Was it sapiens? They don't have
That
sapiens.
doesn't matter. We have humans that are not sapient. I just described them. And again, you agree it would be immoral to exploit them. So
But okay.
what I'm trying to point out, there's
Mhm.
no morally relevant difference between us and animals. There are differences, just like there's differences between you and me. You and I, two different intelligences, two different body shapes, right? We have different priorities, we have different preferences, totally different. We do different things out in the world, right? But
Yeah, but we're
even though
of the
we
same
have
high
all
species.
no, even though we have all these differences, what matters is our sentience. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care what you look like. It depends on if you have the capacity to suffer, if you're having a subjective experience. That's all that I care about. And that's when I see that there's an individual who is having a subjective experience and I can avoid causing them unnecessary harm, I will do so. Right? Like, let's say you're driving down the road and an
Mhm.
animal walks into the road. but you could safely veer off to the grass, right? What are you going to do? Are you just going to hit the animal, or will you move out of the way?
No, of course we move right away, but there's a reason
Right.
for
So
that, right?
you
Because it's
consider
also
that they will suffer if you can, if for your convenience just blew through them, right? It was worth it to, because you could safely get over. It was worth it to honor that they're a sentient being, right? To respect that.
yeah, I understand what you're saying, but
Okay.
I'm
So
gonna
I'm
just
saying
take
the
it
same
from
thing when
like
you go to the store. When you're in the
yeah.
store, you're kind of driving down that road. There's animals, but you could safely veer off to the plant-based section.
Mm-hmm.
So why aren't you doing that?
Well, can I? Okay, actually, I'll answer your question first. Because I mean, we're okay. So we're kind of circling back because you asked me this
Of
before,
course,
and I'm gonna.
this is the point. So why
No,
don't
yeah.
you, like you just demonstrated you would do it for the animal on the road. This is even easier, less stressful, slower. All you have to do is walk over to the plant-based aisle. Why
Because well, it's
go
because I
ahead.
still don't see it as morally wrong.
You do though. You just said you would veer off from hurting the animal. You
But
clearly do
that's
care.
good. Okay, so allow me to make a point, right? So we take like the Native Americans for example, right?
You're not Native
That's
American, and using
no, I know,
them as an
but it's
excuse
not.
for you is tokenizing. Please don't go into it. You are
No, but it's not the point.
generalizing. No, I need you to hear. You are generalizing many nations of people. Many nations. Not Native Americans are not a monolith. They all have different traditions. They all have different perspectives. So lumping them together is cringe. It's terrible. So don't even go there.
Okay,
If
we'll say then
you
any
only speak from
human
your
being,
experiences, okay?
but are we not supposed to
You can
use
talk about your
these?
ancestors. Your ancestors were living, off the land. You can talk about your ancestors, but you
Well, I
don't
do have.
talk about groups that you are not a part of.
Well, I do have indigenous ancestors.
Yeah, but you're not actually part of their cultures. Like you're going to speak, you were just about to generalize them all as a monolith. That's my point. You can't do
It
that.
was not
Why are you still using animals when you have a grocery store?
because it's. I mean, it's because it's not morally wrong. Is
It
what I keep trying to
is.
explain. And
Freesia, I think I'm done. Do you want to speak to him?
I don't really understand why he doesn't think it's morally wrong. I mean, there are so many other things that he was saying is wrong, but then when it comes to taking someone's life and eating their flesh when you don't
yeah,
have to,
because
somehow that's
listen,
moral.
because it's when you do, it's the way you do it. Listen, like, obviously, if you can
I didn't hear
doing
that.
something out of. I'm
I
sorry.
didn't hear it. Can you say that again?
Okay, doing something out of spite, right? Versus doing something not out of necessity, because yes, there are other options, right? You can go to the vegan section, right? But doing something out of spite, like hitting the animal when you can easily dodge
We're,
it,
we're not
is
talking
morally
about
wrong.
no. We're not talking about out of spite though. And you just said yourself that
No, but I'm not
you
finished with
have
my
no,
point though.
you just said yourself that you have the choice to choose a vegan something vegan in the grocery store. You don't have to choose anything that came from an animal. You don't have to choose their flesh, but you're
Well,
making
yeah,
them.
but if you, yeah, but if you, I
It's
mean,
not a
yeah,
necessity.
that's
You're deciding to. Do you think that it's okay to farm sentient beings?
yes, because they're not sapient being. That's the main difference
So you're
I'm
saying
trying to
okay.
make is
So
that humans on the hierarchy are much higher than, well, actually not much higher because it's really just plants, animals, and
so you're essentially saying that
humans.
might equals right because we should.
It's not because we can, but we are just different. We're much smarter. It's not about being smart, but it's about
Okay,
being
so in
sapient.
the
It's about being
ways,
sapient.
so we're,
It is. It
so
doesn't.
we're okay. Hold on. So we're much smarter, right? You just said that.
It's
So
more sapient. Don't get stuck on the smart
okay,
part.
so we're more sapient.
Yeah, we are sapient. They aren't.
Okay, and you're saying that because we are sapient, we can then exploit those who are not, even though they can feel, they can think, they have the capacity to suffer, they have the capacity to have relationships, to bond with others around them. You're saying that because they aren't sapient, you can do whatever you want to them.
It's for. Oh wait, I'm sorry.
I didn't mute him. I don't know if he muted himself.
It looks like
Sorry, 1 minute.
maybe. Oh, okay. I was
Okay,
like,
sorry,
you're.
repeat the question one more time.
Go ahead.
What was
Sorry, I
that?
interrupted. Sorry, can you repeat once again?
Yeah, so basically what I'm saying is that these are beings who they have the capacity to feel. They have the capacity to suffer. They have the capacity to have bonds with others, to have social awareness, to have essentially their own little societies in the way that they run and how they form bonds with each other. They have the capacity to be happy and to be sad and to be scared, all of these things. But you're saying that because they aren't sapient and we are, you get to do whatever you want to them. And
No,
it's
I don't believe
moral.
I don't believe you can do whatever you want to them, right? But in terms,
But
if you,
again, you don't have to consume anything from an animal. You don't have to consume their flesh. You're choosing to do it, and you're choosing to say that it's moral, even though you don't have to.
yeah. So allow me to explain this. If you're doing, it's almost it's for the purpose that you're doing, right? If you're killing an animal, right, to eat it, right?
I want to be clear. We're
But you don't
talking
have
about
to.
just you. Just
Just
you.
you, and you
Fine.
don't
If I
have
am
to.
killing an animal, okay, I'll just use fine. If I am
Say
killing an animal to eat
unaliving.
it, right?
Say unaliving.
Okay. If I'm unaliving an animal to eat it, right?
To eat them.
Yeah. Then it's not morally wrong versus if I kill an animal, or unalive an animal. And when I unalive it, I like torture it to death and then I eat it, right? One is done respectfully, right?
How do you respect someone and take their life when you don't have to? How do you
Because
respect
then
someone and farm
what
them?
would you call the other one though? Do
No,
you think the same level?
how do you respect someone and farm them? How do you respect someone and take away their babies? How do you respect someone and
Well,
forcibly impregnate them? How is that
we're
respectful?
not okay. That's different.
No, that's
Well,
not. That's exactly what's happening. And that's what you're supporting. And you are up here trying to justify all of these things.
yeah. I don't agree that every way they kill the animals is right. So
But you support it. You are going to the store and you are choosing the flesh. You are choosing the eggs. You are choosing the milk. You are choosing pieces and byproducts from these animals that aren't for you. That milk isn't for you. That's for the calf. That's for the calf that was taken away and unalived. You're choosing that and you're supporting it. Every single time you buy it, you are supporting it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to decide, is that something that you want to support? Does that go along with what you with your morals? Are you okay with that? And if the answer is no, then I would really reconsider what your actions are.
No, I understand what you're saying. It's no, I do see how like these support. How you're saying support, right? By buying things, it is like supporting the way they're doing things. But it's I still like if we lived in a world, right, where they killed animals nicely, right, without like doing it in the ways that they do it, right?
How do you do that, Q? How
If
do you
we
unalive someone nicely when they don't want to be unalived?
say, well, I don't know, I'm not a hunter, but you just don't torture them to death, I guess. But
But wait, no. Answer the question. How do you unalive someone when they don't
just
want to
answer
be
your
unalived?
question. You don't do it in a
How do you
extremely
do it
painful way.
nicely? How do you
You
do
can
it nicely?
you can do it fast.
So when they don't want to be unalived, it's nice to unalive them fast.
Yeah, if someone breaks into your house, right, and they have a gun, right, and you
No,
shoot them,
but
right?
No.
that's a false
That's
equivalency.
self-defense. That's self-defense.
I know, but it's not okay. This is not the point, though. You're not letting me finish
Yeah,
the point, though.
then we don't need to bring that up. I'm asking you, if someone doesn't want to be unalived, how is it kind to unalive them?
If you unalive someone for the purpose of eating them,
Wait,
and you
what does
do
that
it
have to do with what does that matter? Eating them. You don't have to eat them.
because if
So
you're killing them just for no reason, then yes, it is a bit cruel.
we've already you understand that it's not necessary to unalive these animals. So again, how do you unalive someone kindly when they don't want to be unalived? Please answer that question.
Hey, you do it fast and
Okay, that's kind.
not painfully.
Whenever it's not necessary,
Well,
That's
we're
the
talking
wrong
about
way to
killing.
do
We're
it.
talking about killing people. So if you want to
Well,
be a
do you know
nice,
what
I'm trying to
the
explain to
kind
you
thing? Do you
the
know what the
nicest
actual
way.
kind thing would be?
What?
Do you know what
Sexually?
the kind thing would be?
Are you gonna say to let them live?
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind thing to do. If you're unaliving someone when they don't want to be unalived, that's not kind. If I were to unalive you nicely, according to you, kindly, would that be okay?
No, but
Okay,
we
would it be
are.
okay if I did it to your dog?
I don't have a dog, but I would assume not.
Okay, so it's the same thing.
Yeah, but it's not the same thing.
It is the
Maybe
same thing. It
no,
is
because
absolutely the same thing.
humans are
The
not on the same
reason
level in
is
the hierarchy.
unnecessary. The reason is unnecessary. So if you were to be kind, you wouldn't be doing it at all.
Okay, humans still are not on the same level
What does it matter?
as as
So what? Listen, we are all
so
sentient.
we
It
can
doesn't
kill them
matter.
with
Wait.
we can kill them, keep our moral values a lot
No, you can't.
easier.
If you are
How can you not?
unnecessarily harming someone for your benefit, you are not being moral. That's the thing. Just like you said, you would want to stray away from an animal in the road. It's the same thing. Like how?
Okay.
Let me ask you something. I wanted to bring this up. You said that you would swerve out of the way to hit an animal. Tell me
hmm
how that. Tell me why, like you hitting them. How would that be immoral?
Because one is out of spite.
No, you wouldn't do it out of spite. You just wouldn't care. In your eyes, they don't matter.
Well, okay, then it's up to your interpretation if you want to
No,
take
there's
it
no
as spite
interpretation. I want you to
or
tell me how it is immoral to hit an animal when you can just swerve out of the way.
okay. One is to consume the animal, right?
No, it doesn't
And
matter. It
one is
doesn't matter what you're doing with the body afterwards. Okay, let me answer this. Or let me ask you this. If I
hmm
see a dog on the road and I hit that
hmm
dog because I want to eat that dog, that's okay?
if you want to eat the dog, then
Then it's okay. If I see a dog in the street, I run
okay,
that dog
it's
over, but I'm gonna be like, you know what? I hit that dog. I unalive that dog. I'm gonna eat it now. That makes it all right.
okay. Listen, I'm obviously social. How was it? Societally biased to think that dogs are higher than other animals.
Exactly. Yes, you are.
So I would say, well, for that one specific thing, I'm not saying for everything. So don't get ahead of
Okay,
yourself. Okay,
so you're
but
saying now social norms make something okay and not okay.
no, for one specific example,
So,
right? For one
but
example
yeah, if
of
you're using one specific example, that means you're saying that social norms make it okay or not okay.
no, that's not true.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. If you're using it for
No, I
one
said
thing, then you're
I'm
saying
socially listen.
that's what you're doing. If you're
Okay,
saying it
and
for one
okay,
thing, that means that social norms make it okay.
okay. That's not what I'm saying though. But if I can explain,
Okay, yeah,
right?
that makes no sense. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, it of course makes no sense if I can't explain it. Okay, okay, I kind of forgot what I was gonna say. Um, listen, I was saying that I'm societally biased to believe that it is wrong, even though it may actually not be wrong, and it probably isn't wrong if it's
Or maybe it
just
is wrong altogether. How about that? Like, what's wrong? What's like? Why would you say, "Oh, it's probably not wrong"? You know that dog doesn't want to be run over to be eaten. You don't want to be run over to be eaten. Neither of these animals want to be unalive to be eaten, and we do not have to do these things. But you're saying it's okay because sapients, dude, who gives a shit? They are sentient. They can feel pain. They know
well, I
that
mean,
they're
yeah, but
feeling.
just because you
Wait,
don't care
they
about sapiens
know
doesn't
that
mean
they're feeling pain. They cry. They yell. They run away. Why are you okay with this, dude? Like, think about it. If
because
you consider yourself a
mhm.
moral person, why would you say it is okay to harm a sentient being just because you want to taste their flesh or wear their skin?
Yeah, well, it's because my whole argument is that the sapiens is valued higher than the sentience.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's valued higher. You can still give the inherent right not to harm them. I can
Okay,
think that humans are better than that other animals, but that doesn't give me a right to exploit those animals.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
I can still say what you're saying, but also say I'm not going to harm them because I know they feel pain and I don't want to feel pain. Why would I want to put that on someone else?
Okay. Because your whole thing, right, is that the sentience is important.
We've been up
My
here
whole thing
for
is that
30
sapiens.
minutes. We've been up here for 30 minutes. I don't think we've been going through these arguments now over and over again. I do appreciate your patience being up here. I do want to move on. What I want to push you to, though, because I don't think you know what you're defending, I would
Nope.
really love for you to go watch Dominion. Okay? It's just a basic documentary. It shows you just standard practices of the animals we use. Just standard practices. This is what the high welfare too. We've got cage free. They've got local farms, local small slaughterhouses. It just shows you that when you go into the store and you see labels, you know what they mean, what's actually accepted under those labels, what it is that you're
No, I know what's
demanding.
accepted. I know what it means for the labels.
I don't think you do. So what I would prefer is that you go watch Dominion and then you come talk to me afterwards, because I want to know, after you know what the animals go through, then you might have a different perspective. Would you be willing to go watch Dominion and then come back to us?
I mean, I doubt I come back to the stream because this is kind of like a random scroll, but
Well, I mean, you can
potentially.
follow anybody here if you wanted to, and then you can unfollow us if you don't like us. But that way you can find us quickly. And I mean, you could even private message me. You don't necessarily need to come on the live, or private message anybody. Landon, Freesia, even Lori. Lori's amazing. I know you haven't spoken to her yet, but you could talk to any of us, afterwards. We've been up here for 30 minutes and you're kind of going in circles. You keep saying the same things and you're not. So what you're doing is not not logically consistent, which opens up room for those isms, for arbitrary, harmful discrimination, right? You're literally just talking about your group and that your group deserves rights, but other groups don't. And I don't think you know that you're saying this, but this is what you're saying. So go watch Dominion, go see what they go through, and just imagine if you
Yeah, I
were in
just
their
believe there's a different
situation.
line. Yeah, I'll get.
Go ahead.
Okay, yes, I understand what you guys are saying.
Q.
Okay.
Also, you
We'll
should understand that
get
the
back.
animals that you're consuming, they literally have the intelligence and the innocence as like a 4-year-old child.
Yes. There's evidence for this. This isn't just opinion either. All right. Well,
Yes.
Michael. It was Michael. I really appreciate you coming up, but we're going to move on. All right. I appreciate all your questions. Please go check out
Yes,
Dominion,
thank you.
okay? Yes. All right. You have a good day. Hey,
Sorry, I
guys.
got a little aggro, y'all.
Oh, no, it's all good. I wanted you guys to all have an equal chance to talk to him, so I actually appreciate you took that time. He's just been up here for so long, and he's literally going through the same arguments over and over again, and I was like, okay, we need to move on.
Yeah.
But hey, how's everyone doing?
Doing good, doing good. I'm actually on my lunch break.
Nice. Thank you for joining us on your lunch break. Hey, Lori.
Hey.
How you doing?
Yeah, I didn't get in at the beginning of that conversation, unfortunately.
That's okay. That's all right. It was too long anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. You start to forget what we've already talked about when you talk to someone for so long. So
Exactly.
I want to get through people that are a little more, willing to be like, yes, animals feel, and a little more honest. That's what I want to talk to.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna drop down. I just wanted to hop on. That dude was so frustrating, and I just wanted to
Say something.
Yes,
Absolutely.
but I appreciate you letting me up.
Hell yeah, yeah. And if you want to come up again, you're welcome to. So
Appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.
you too, Landon.
Yeah,
Thank
bye,
you.
Landon.
Bye.
All right. Are you guys ready for the next one?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, ready when you are.
Let's do it. Princess.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
I made it.
hold on 1 second real quick. I see Princess Prank is in my request. It says we're friends. Are you vegan? Say it in the chat. I'll keep my eye on there. Hey, Aeon, are you over 18?
I am. I am.
Am I pronouncing your name
Everyone
correctly?
says, yeah, no. Sorry. It's Ion.
Ion. I'm so sorry. Ion.
It's all good. Everyone says Aeon.
Okay. Ion. How do
Yeah.
you morally justify your animal use?
So I'm actually in the middle, by the way. But if it's okay with you, I feel like morality is a little bit subjective, and I think it could be easily replaced with ethics. Would you
So
agree?
when I talk about morality. I'm talking about your subjective morality. How do you feel about things?
I'm a bit of a nihilist, but
Okay,
um,
that's fine.
yeah. So we can use morality. I just feel like morality is,
Well,
it's
morality
based
is
on
about how we
environment
think
and
we should how we
culture.
should treat each other, right? It's about how
Yeah,
you
yeah.
think we should treat each other. So how do you think we should treat each other?
Well, I mean, I think we should treat each other different, right? Based on circumstances, of course, just like other animals and even other human beings. I don't treat, a murderer the same as I do someone who doesn't murder.
Okay, what about innocent animals who can experience subjective feelings and emotions?
Sure, yeah. So I do think that even there, it differs, right? And how we treat animals, even how we kill animals. But I do have a let me answer your question. So you're saying that, or you're asking if how I should treat other animals?
How should you interact with them? Should you just take what you want from them and not consider what they want? Or should you consider what they want?
Well, we should consider what they want if we know what they want. If they're able to somehow communicate that with us, even through nonverbal communication, that's okay.
Consent?
Um, no, no, not all the time. I don't think that.
You don't need consent from animals?
No, you
Why
don't.
not?
Because many animals are unable to even give consent.
Lack of consent mean you can do what you want to someone?
Um, I mean, in some cases, I mean that is predation, right?
So
It,
let's say that
can
I
I?
have
Okay.
someone in a coma. Can I do what I want to them?
No, that's not predation. It is circumstantial. So I did start with that.
Immoral with me
Um,
doing that? What's immoral with me taking advantage of someone in a coma?
what's immoral? It's another human being.
Or
Across the animal kingdom, or not we, but animals treat their own species different than other animals,
yeah,
right?
but
So
you're
we
what
should
we
we share
call a
that,
moral agent, right? You know how to weigh
right?
out what's right and wrong. We don't take our morality from animals because they're not moral agents, they're moral patients. They're sentient. They may have some idea of what morality is, but they don't fully understand the complexities of morality like you and I do. So we don't hold them to the same standard.
Yeah, I mean, I tend not to. I tend not
A
to agree
grocery
with
store
morality,
and they
but
have to survive a harsh environment.
of course, of course. Well, let me ask you this. So, does I mean, I'm assuming you're vegan. Does you partaking in your vegan diet end with a byproduct of killing of other animals?
Yes, some animals will be unalived, but that's not the point of veganism. Do you know what veganism is?
Um, I
So
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I
veganism
think
is
so.
a principled stance against the exploitation of sentient
Hmm.
beings, specifically human-caused exploitation to sentient beings. So,
Okay.
crop dust, I'm not demanding that little squirrels, mice, voles, whatever animals you want to list off, right? I'm not
Hmm.
demanding that those animals be unalived in fields. I'm demanding the crop. Whereas when you demand animal products, it is
Hmm.
inherent to have oppression. You cannot steal someone's muscle without oppressing them.
Okay, but the same could be said about. I mean, by taking part in a vegan diet, that
What I
is
just said, do you know what
go
exploitation
ahead.
means?
Yes,
What does it mean?
exploiting is gaining benefit against a benefit of another.
Using someone unfairly for your benefit.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
against the
so
benefit of another. So, and that happens with veganism. And
no,
there
you're not,
is, okay, go ahead.
I'm not using animals in the crops. I'm using crops. We can grow crops without crop deaths, right? We can improve crop farming. You can't improve throat slitting. You can't improve stealing someone's baby.
Well, I think naturally there will be improvements to that with synthetic meats and things like that. But
Right.
uh,
When you
I,
take the sentient beings out of the equation, right?
of course,
That's okay. We're
of
saying
course.
don't use sentient beings. I don't care what you eat or what you do. Just don't
Hmm.
demand sentient beings be born into existence for you to use.
But that is how nature works, though,
That's
right?
not
Like predation.
nature. That's cruelty. Nature is animals just surviving day to day. They don't enslave each other, right? They, for the most part, they just are surviving. And we've seen animals we've taken out of fight or flight mode show signs of morality and empathy. You are not an animal. You have the capacity to weigh out
Right,
what's
but
right and wrong. You
us
have
enslaving
access.
animals is
You
still
have
predation.
access. It's not predation. It's
It
just
is.
exploitation. It's exploitation. You're
We,
not a predator. If anything, you're an
we are
opportunity.
predators.
No, we are not. When we call another human a predator, are we complimenting them?
I mean, there's some colloquial meaning to predator.
Exactly. Why
Someone
do we
might
use that
assume
word to describe awful people?
because they are taking advantage of vulnerable animals,
Right. So
other
why do
animals,
you want to imitate that?
because that's what we are animals.
So you're okay with exploiting someone who's vulnerable to you for entertainment purposes.
Well, I wouldn't say for
You're
entertainment
literally
purposes. I feel like you're being
using,
a little hyperbolic.
you're demanding someone's body be presented to you so that you can use it for your pleasure. That's what you're doing. Does that sound fair to the individual being presented to you?
Just because it's for pleasure doesn't mean it's not a necessity.
It's not a necessity. What is it you think you need from animals?
I mean, there's a bunch that we need from animals.
Name one
I mean,
thing.
amino acids.
You can get amino acids from plants.
But you didn't ask what can you get from other things that you can get from animals.
What
You
do
asked
you
what do
get
you
from
need from
animals?
animals.
Let me clarify for you.
Go
What
ahead.
is it that you need specifically only from animals that you can't get from other sources?
Nothing. Nothing. You can
Right.
survive. Well, I mean,
So
some
there's
people. I mean,
no
hang on.
necessity. Your argument
Well,
was that even though it's for pleasure, it's still for necessity, and we just narrowed it down. It's not for necessity. So it is purely for
well.
pleasure.
Let me preface by saying that there is a physiological need for some
No,
people. Like some
no,
people.
Ion. You shop at a grocery store. You have access to beans, rice, local fruits
Mhm,
and vegetables that are in season, frozen fruits and vegetables, canned fruits and vegetables. You have access
mhm.
to alternatives. Why are you still demanding someone innocent who is experiencing their own subjective emotions through a system that you wouldn't tolerate yourself?
Why do you mean I wouldn't tolerate that? We did tolerate that
Let's
for
say
quite a long
aliens
time.
come down. Let's say
Go
aliens
ahead.
come down and they want to enslave you and eat your flesh. They know they
Okay.
can eat something else, but they want to eat you. Are you going to beg for your life, or are you going to say, oh, that's the circle of life?
I mean, both. I would fight for my life and
That's a disingenuous
understand.
answer because
I would say
everyone,
you're.
all sentient beings want to live and would fight for their life. And when you
I
say
but
that,
and
you're
I
lying.
acknowledge that.
You're being disingenuous because you're saying that your taste pleasure still matters more than their experiences. That alien's taste pleasure matters more than how much you want to live. Is that accurate? Their taste pleasure, again, they can eat something else. You're muted. Their taste pleasure over your experiences, which matters more? It's right there.
Can you hear me? Sorry.
What matters more?
It depends to who.
No, no.
It
What matters
does.
more,
You
the
said
alien's taste pleasure or you wanting to live?
to me, I matter the most.
What do you think the animals think?
I mean, many animals don't have
See,
those
this
thought
is what
process.
oppressors do. When you want something, when this is called cognitive dissonance. You have two opinions that
I
are
understand cognitive
conflicting.
dissonance.
Yeah, you have two opinions that are conflicting. You yourself would demand mercy, right? but you're still subjecting someone else through it because you're literally demeaning their experiences. You're saying they don't care about their life as much as I like tasting them.
I never said that.
You
You asked
just
what they would.
did. You just
No,
said
you asked
animals
what they
don't
would.
care about their lives.
I never said that.
So
You're
then when
again.
you said you would prefer to
You're
live,
straw manning.
when you said you would prefer to live, and I said, what do the animals want? What did you say?
I said they probably wouldn't be able to comprehend that.
Am I going crazy? He's literally demeaning them again. He's literally agreeing that yes, they don't want to live. Is that what it sounds like? Am I wrong here?
No, yeah. So, Ion, earlier you were saying that if animals could communicate that they don't want something, that should be respected, right? Was that what I heard earlier? I don't know if you know you're muted, but
I don't know why it keeps on showing me that dialogue box, but yes, I did say that.
okay. So, what are the ways? So, I can't remember if this was you or a different guest. Do you have a dog or a cat?
I have 4 amazing cats.
You form. Okay, sweet. I have 2. And so those cats, what do they
hmm
do when they don't want something to happen?
Hiss. They. I mean, there's tons of verbal signs that they do.
Okay, so I mean, there's verbal signs, but there's also nonverbal, right? They might scratch you, they might try to
Oh,
get out
sure.
of your
Yes, of
arms,
course,
like, they're
of
probably at the
course.
vet. I imagine at least one of them doesn't like going to the vet. I know one of mine doesn't, right?
Yeah, they don't. They hate it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's probably really stressful for them, right?
hmm
To be in the carrier, that the whole process. And so you can tell that by what they're doing, they don't want that to happen. It's stressful. You can see that it's stressful. And probably when they come home, if they're anything like my cat, when they come home, it takes them a while to decompress. Like my cat will go and he'll hide for a bit and it'll take him a while to come back out. Like he's stressed, you know?
hmm
Yeah. So the same thing that all 4 of your cats are feeling, how they can feel those emotions, how they display signs of not wanting something and they display signs of stress and all of that. That's the same that happens with cows and pigs and chickens and all these other animals that you're deciding to eat and to justify using. They all feel that same thing. And so
Yeah.
if it's not okay to do it to one of your cats, if you would say that it's wrong to farm cats and then
hmm
unalive them in slaughterhouses or anyway, when you don't have to. Like
Okay.
if that's wrong, then why are you saying it's okay to do it to someone else?
Well, okay. So, a couple different things. One, I personally don't eat a lot of those animals that display high levels of intelligence.
Do you
Right?
eat
That's just my
cows?
own personal thing.
Do you eat cows?
No, I don't eat cows.
Do you eat
I don't eat
pigs?
pig. No, pigs are incredibly intelligent. Probably top 10 most intelligent animals.
Top five, actually.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, but that's just my own personal thing.
What do you think? Hold on. What do you think a
So,
chicken does when they don't want to be picked up?
um, I mean, I don't know. Probably try to run away, make noises, flap, different things. I'm sure.
Yeah, they might peck you all, and that's a very similar response to what your cats are doing, right? Like if you pick up one of your cats and they don't want to be picked up, they're gonna squirm, they're gonna try to get out of your arms, they might scratch you, they might do all these things to let you know, hey, put me down, I don't want this.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're getting into a lot of one. I think one thing that we're getting into is trying to guess the intentions of other animals. But I get the point of doing that. But a lot of these are neurological responses, much like mollusks, right? Mollusks don't have an advanced,
Chickens are not.
hardly at
No,
all
no, no, no. Hold
advanced
on, hold
nervous
on,
system,
hold
but
on.
they
No, no,
respond to
no, no,
pain
no, no,
just like
no.
fungi do.
No, we're not gonna go. We're not
Go
gonna be
ahead.
talking about mollusks. We aren't
Well,
because
that's
there's
we're not
debate over
talking
there.
about
No, no, no.
mollusks.
There's
I was just
debate over
using
there.
that as an analogy.
There's debate over their sentience. Then fungus isn't sentient. So we're not going to be comparing a chicken to a mollusk. If you want to compare animals, which it seems like you want to do, because you don't want to eat pigs and cows, but you're fine eating chickens because of the comparison between the two. So we're not going to go from chicken to mollusk. No, like let's talk about chicken.
Sure, I wasn't, but yes, okay. We don't have to go to mollusks or anything else. I mean, I do think that it's a little unfair to bring up other animals, such as cats, but
Why?
limit my
Why?
ability to bring up other
Why?
animals.
Hold on. Why? I want to know why you think it's unfair to bring up cats.
It's only unfair to bring up cats when you limit my ability to bring up other animals.
The reason, okay, so let me tell you the reason why I brought up cats. It's because you can see that your cats have feelings, they have thoughts, they have
Hmm.
all different sorts. You can see the wide range. You can see how different they are from each other,
Of
right?
course.
And so that's why I brought that up because
Can I bring up why I brought up mollusks?
that's the reason why chickens show those same signs of not wanting to be held, not wanting to have all these things happen to them. So
Right.
why are you
May I bring up why
justifying
I brought up mollusks
why are
then?
you justifying using chickens when they have the same responses as your cats?
Because just like with the mollusks, which I won't bring up again, right? The responses to stimuli does not indicate intention, right, or consent.
So okay, so it does not indicate consent.
It
So
can indicate.
it
It can be
can't.
it can be an indicator, but an indicator is you guys are trying to justify other animals' intentions or wants,
No. What we're
right?
doing, no. What we're doing is we are defending other
Hmm.
animals from being used by people, and
Correct.
defending them, and trying to see and trying to have other people see that using animals isn't okay. It's like why? Why would you do it? Why would you do that to someone who clearly does not want that to happen to them?
Well, part of your guys' argument is that, like, why would you use other animals for your benefit when there are other options that exist? I'm sure if there wasn't other options, you guys would not be having this TikTok discussion, right? Because there are no other options. I mean, it's natural, it's in the animal kingdom. Predation is how animals evolve, even, right? I mean, eating meat is how human beings evolve, but I'm not getting into any of that stuff, right? Um, your point is that why do these things when other options exist? So I'll go back to the first part of my argument, which was if veganism results, the act of veganism, partaking in veganism, results in the death
Ignore the
of
definition
animals.
of veganism. He's going to go back to harm reduction.
Okay,
Are we really going back to the beginning?
we don't have to.
I think there's a really good documentary that you should watch. And
I heard that. I will watch it. Dominion.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I will watch it.
okay. So I think that I mean unless sorry, and I don't want to speak for you or anything, but
Go ahead.
I think that we've kind of been going around in circles for a little bit, and so I would really
I think a
recommend
lot of the.
I would
Go.
really
Sorry.
recommend watching Dominion. Try to the intro is about what 20 minutes long, something like that. So I mean, get past that 20 minutes and really get into it, and really see what's happening. And tell me if after you see what the chickens go through, if that's something that you want to actually support.
Well, okay. So one, I do think that human beings very soon, I'm assuming maybe 50 years, will be almost completely off meats on synthetic and plant-based diets, right? It's uh, human beings care about energy and cost, and raising animals is incredibly cost prohibitive and energy intensive, right? So I know that's going to be a thing, and we'll look back on eating meats as a horrific thing that humanity partaked in, right? But I do think that it's important to understand that predation is, we are not at a place with human beings yet to where we can do that, right? We
Ion,
cannot.
Ion, we're
Go ahead.
talking about you alone. You
I
can make change.
understand.
Why does the world have to be perfect for you to make the right choice?
It doesn't have to be
Right.
perfect.
Do
It's
you
just
do you consider
go ahead.
yourself racist?
No, I would
Do
not.
you try to avoid being racist?
I do.
Can you eliminate all racism in the world?
No.
All right. So, but it's a principled thing, right? To not be racist for you.
Yes, it's a principled thing. Yeah.
Veganism is the same thing. I principally don't want to demand someone else's exploitation, someone else to be enslaved and used for me when I know I can just take 20 minutes to look up how to figure out how to eat, right? That's all it
Right,
takes.
but your argument isn't this is the problem that I have, is that your argument isn't that we should eliminate as much as we can the killing of animals. It's
Because
that
veganism,
killing of animals
you're
is bad, and you're doing it yourself.
misunderstanding what veganism is. You're literally doing a nirvana fallacy. You're saying because you can't eliminate all harm, you shouldn't bother trying to avoid oppressing someone. We're saying
No,
you can't eliminate all harm, but you can stop demanding someone's oppression.
that is a part of my argument. The main argument that I
So
have
the
is the
argument that
hypocrisy.
veganism is you have control over your own choices, your own actions. Do it. If you know what's right, do what's right. Stop twisting
Then let me
yourself in a
ask you,
pretzel
what
so
is?
that you can
I'm
oppress
not.
someone. If you were the oppressed, what would you want your oppressor to do? Keep using you because of futility? Or recognize that they don't need to demand your use and even advocate for you? Which would you prefer as the oppressed?
My preference would be the one that benefits me.
Exactly. The one that respects that you have the capacity to suffer and you're your own person. So go watch Dominion. We're going to move on now and hold that in your mind that you would like to be respected. But I'm so tired of going in circles, so we're going to move on. Thank you, Freesia, for talking to him. Hey, Princess. Remind me, I don't remember the last time we spoke, so I'm so sorry. I was like unsure of who you are. I was like, oh, it says we're friends, but I haven't spoken to you for a while. Oops.
Sorry, I was so distracted. I've been watching Dominion and I have tissues. So,
Dude, it's
but
rough.
but no, honestly, I reshaped my views a lot. I kind of looked back and I was like, okay, what was the problem with me going vegan before? Like, why did I like fail? So I was like, I think I went in it too fast. I just went to the market, bought a whole bunch of stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm vegan now. Like, I was like, I have to start out slow. So I started cutting out different meats, proteins, and stuff. And then here we are. I had a this, I think it's made out of tofu. I don't know what it is, but it's this vegan chicken strips, and I like cut them up and put them in a salad with vegan cheese. And I mean, I haven't ate meat really in kind of like almost ish a month. I mean, I've had like a bite of something here and there, but honestly not really anything. I cut it down all the way to like chicken and fish, and now I can't even look at chicken. I cut it down to fish now, but I haven't even touched that at all. And I'm really happy. I remember when I came here, I was talking about how I think that there are ethical ways to source animals, but I don't think that we can. I just like thinking about it from a perspective, knowing that how much crime human beings create, how violent human beings are, and how we've got to this point. I don't think it's a fact of, oh, it's impossible. I think some human beings are just impossible of it, and those are the people that are in charge of this, in charge of these meat markets. So I feel like we're way too, what, how should I say, we're far away from being able to ethically source meat right now because of how greedy corporations are. I mean, just look at what they're doing. I mean, on Dominion, I mean, free range is just a shed. Like, it's literally just a shed. Like, in my head, they're in this grassy kind of field and they're able to move, and when they have to be processed, then they're taken to the factory, they're killed, it's over, there you go. But they're still being tortured. And I've come to this like, some people have come to this like, well, lions eat meat. Human beings are a part of the food chain that eats meat. But the thing that separates us from the lion is the lion didn't dominate the food chain and start making factories and torturing animals. That is the big difference. Yes, human beings are a part of that food chain, but we have dominated it in such a grotesque way that we need to take a step back, a huge step. And my thing is, at a point, why do you even want to eat it? Because I mean, I've been eating this stuff and I'm like, I don't really see the need to find an ethical way to eat chicken right now. I mean, I don't really want to. I don't really want to.
Exactly. Like, once you realize there is no right way to do it, especially, so there's two different ways of saying this, right? There's obviously, if I were in their situation, I would never tolerate even the kindest slavery. I don't want to be enslaved. But when you look at also just reality, these farmers that are doing these humane methods, right? They're doing it the right way, still are just humans, right? And humans get tired. Farming is a hard job. You know, it gets frustrating. There are going to be days when you can't get through your day because animals are, you know, doing their thing, and it comes across as like they're being stubborn, right? But really they don't want to be used, and farmers will get frustrated. And if they're raising animals, they're raising them for a product, right? So they'll forever be objectified. They'll always mean less than what they really are. And so that means no matter how high welfare a farm is labeled, you don't know unless you're there every single day what's going on, you know?
And I want to, real quick, before we continue, I want to reply to this guy in the comments. Speaking as a Black woman whose family was owned to the point of extent that our last name was Cone, which was the owners of my grandmother, please don't speak on her about equating it to slavery. She's not saying that slavery was worse than what we're doing to the animals, but it is a form of slavery.
Right. I'm
It's not like
comparing.
she's sitting here and saying, well, slavery happened, so all slavery is bad. Slavery has happened. It has happened here, now, everywhere, but it's still bad. I can't just say, well, you know, I'm Black. My slavery was worse than the animals, so I'm going to go eat bacon today.
Yeah, it's honestly, an atrocity is an atrocity, right? Like if something happens to you, that matters, right? It's not about who has it worse. It's about each individual, you know, having a subjective experience. And if we can avoid demanding each other's oppression, we should.
And then another thing to add on to that, because I know people are going to try to interpret that, that's
Yeah.
again not her saying that slavery doesn't affect me to this day. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
like, just for the people in the comments, because I know they're like, oh yeah, she said
Yep.
it, let me go.
Yeah, I
Like,
know it.
that's not what we're saying. Slavery has happened everywhere. It is bad. Forms of it are still happening today, and that is what we're talking about. But I'm really glad that I came to your live. It was very nice. And I've made, like, my fridge is very green right now. Okay, there's a lot.
Yes.
The only thing that I've noticed that I don't like is, like, what is with the portion sizes and some of, like, the vegan stuff in the market.
Yeah.
And I feel like they do it on purpose because, let's be honest, it's honestly more affordable to make vegan food than it is to house billions and millions of animals and have to feed those animals. And they don't have to keep them safe. Like, they're like in the Dominion, they're not actually protecting or taking care of these animals, but they still have to feed them pounds of food. So I'm like, I feel like it'd be more affordable. I don't know. Maybe I need to look and do more research, but
Yeah, no, there's actually evidence behind this. Most countries are subsidizing the animal agriculture. That means they're taking your tax dollars to artificially reduce the price of animal products. So most people don't know if they're buying animal products, they're actually paying twice.
But yeah, I fully, from what I said, like, I just feel like I said before, that there is ethical means of how to get our meat, to get animals. Humans are a part of that food chain. But like I said, we have dominated it such a grotesque way. Like, we have to take a step back, people. We have to stop. It really has to stop. It just,
I mean, what it comes down to is that we just recognize that animals are sentient, right? And we're sentient. And let's say I get bumped on the head and I'm not sapient anymore, but I'm still sentient. I would still prefer that I'm respected, at minimum, not exploited, right? Even though
that guy
I've
that
lost
was,
that.
I'm sorry.
Oh, please, go
That
ahead.
guy that was talking about his dog, I wanted to join so bad. I was so mad. I'm like,
so sorry.
I was like, oh my God, get this dog away from this man. Someone call dog CPS or something. Oh, my dog is just a robot. Okay, I don't know that the Havanese breed, whenever they fall asleep, they do this little noise that my dog does. That's what my dog does. He has his own characteristics. And him talking about how animals don't have morals. Yes, they do. Because when me and my dog are like play fighting and he notices that he's hurt me, he starts nuzzling my face and he's like, oh God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it.
Yes.
Like, they do understand on a different level
They
than
understand.
us.
They understand more than what people give them credit for. Same with farm animals too.
I just don't understand. It's killing me how he was like, animals are just like robots.
Yeah.
Hello?
No, if anybody's a robot, it's the humans that eat the animals.
What kills me the most is that he sat here on a live to rage that animals are robots, so he gets to eat bacon every day.
Yep.
but he still has Google in the same phone he's screaming in. There is Google to show him that his dog is sentient, has his own characteristics,
Yeah.
has his own personality. They even talked about how dog owners, they when their dogs pass, they miss them, so they clone them. But even cloning them, they weren't the same because the dogs develop their own characteristics from their own personal experience because they're sentient beings. Now, is my dog gonna get up, put on his uniform, and go to work today? No, because he has a different level of sentience than me. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna go in my kitchen
But
and cook my dog.
sapience. He's a different sapience, maybe, but not a
Oh,
different.
sapient.
Because sentience is
You
like an
ready?
on-off switch. You either are
You want me to
sentient or
bring
not.
somebody up for you, Anna, pretty soon?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, please, Lori. I would
Okay.
love that. Princess, would you like to, outreach abolition with us?
Sure, I would love to. I did want to say one more thing though.
Yeah,
I
please.
did find, weirdly enough, there's this girl at my
Hello?
job.
Hey, Swazi, hold on
She
1 second.
she
Go ahead.
raises her own cows, and I found out that she's planning to eat them.
Yeah,
To eat them. I was like, why?
yeah,
I just don't understand. I'm like, she said, from my knowledge, from what we've heard, she has raised them from calves
yeah.
and is now going to eat them. And I'm like, why? There's just no reason behind
Oh,
it.
she's a
If she
disgusting
really wants
person.
to eat meat, she could go get a burger somewhere else, but you're choosing to take your own pet and unalive them for
Oh,
food.
she's a
And on top of that,
disgusting
you can just get a
person.
plant-based burger. Why raise something just to do that? But
Yeah.
I digress.
Do you know
Because
what
they're
for?
robots.
Yeah. Do you know
Oh
what?
yes, my dog is a robot. He's working for the
No, I mean, the
government.
people that do this are robots. It's
Yes.
all they see in front of them. It's like where's their next meal going to come from? Oh my God, let's go out and shoot an animal.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you know what 4-H is? 4-H programs for kids?
the worst.
Yeah, they're for kids to
They're
practice what
terrible.
you just described. They raise animals and then they go to events where they show off the animal that they raised and they sell them off for slaughter.
Oh my god.
Right.
Yeah, that's
I
4-H.
can't
4-H
imagine
is not
that.
like what it used to be when I was younger. They didn't do that in 4-H.
Oh, okay.
Knowing
Now they
that
do it.
cows are very similar to like dog behaviors at times and how they can grow accustomed to their owners, I'm just imagining that poor cow like coming up to its owner super excited and happy, and the next thing it knows. I mean, that's just
Exactly.
awful. I just
Yep.
don't understand.
Yep. Yep. It's
None of us do.
heartbreaking. Yeah, and then that's why we're here, you know. I actually do believe that most people agree that unnecessary animal use and abuse is wrong. It's just that when they're presented with this challenge that they need to change, the cognitive dissonance comes in because their benefits are in question, right? And that's hard. Change from that, from something you enjoy, is scary. And so then they come up with all these excuses and demean their victims. But it takes sometimes people that, because all humans kind of do that, but it takes a little extra to be like, you know what, I'm going to question my habits. I'm going to question the norms. Like, why are we doing, is it right? You know, it does take a little extra. Go ahead.
I did forget to mention, I did talk about how expensive it is being a vegan at times, but I honestly put in perspective, I spend $250 at Sephora for makeup that I don't use. I have a whole bag of makeup that I don't use, but I won't save an animal and spend an extra dollar or something. Like,
Sure, yeah.
I just put that into like a moral perspective. I'm like, shut up and go buy the plant-based chicken nuggets for $6.99 that you only get a 4-pack of and eat your food instead of eating
Maybe,
your chicken.
have you checked out the Vegan Daily Dozen?
No.
Check it out. Just Google it when we're done or whenever you want. Just Google Vegan Daily Dozen, or you can go to nutritionfacts.org. It's on there. But it's just an easy checklist to make sure you get everything you need in a day, and it's based off whole foods. So it ends up being like one of the cheapest diets out there, and it might help you so that more of those vegan meats that are expensive, those can be more like treats, and you don't have to worry about, am I getting my needed protein, because you'll already have that box checked.
There's a new one I was going to give you unless I already did it. Did I give you the thing called Vegan Easy? Did I give you that?
No, I'm going to write it down.
Okay. Go ahead with your next guest, and then I'll tell you about it.
Awesome. I'll write it down too. Vegan.
Yeah, veganeasy.org.
TTChat.org. Yes, I love as many resources as we can. That way
Yeah.
everybody can get all their needs
I'll
covered.
explain it after you talk to your
Oh, yeah, I would love that. Okay.
guest.
Swazi,
Because you
thank you.
got like 4 in
Sorry,
the
it was
queue.
vegan easy.
Yeah,
It's
Vegan
called
Easy.
veganeasy.org. But
Okay.
I'll explain it after she speaks to her guest.
Awesome. I'll write a note too so we remember because I might forget. Lori, ask Lori.
You have 4 in the queue that are waiting.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Appreciate everyone waiting. Swazi, you've been very patient. Thank you. Are you over
Yes,
18?
of course.
Was the Corsa over 18? Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Awesome. How do you morally justify your animal use?
What do you mean by morally justify? Like,
Well, let's say I want to go slap my neighbor. I better have a good reason, right? Because he doesn't like that.
no. Well, of course he's not gonna like
Right. I
that.
better have a good justification.
hmm
Yeah. So you're taking someone's life or their family. What morally justifies that for your taste pleasure?
Well, we can't say someone because someone is referring to a person, right? Animals are not person, or not as a person. Someone is a human. Animals are not human like us.
Do you
So, well, they are. Well,
recognize?
animals are. Well, we are animals, but they're not human. That's the thing. They're not like people like us.
Do
So
you
we gotta.
understand that animals are sentient just like us?
They're sentient, but they don't really understand the world like we do. So
Okay.
How do you know? How do you know that, Swazi? How do you know they don't understand the world like we do, but they just understand it?
there's many credible sources to this and how they act. There's many documentaries on how other animals act. Like it's really obvious.
Hmm.
Not
Well,
obvious.
only that you know and only that they know, but animals have been here far longer than us. Far longer than us. So how were they able to make it this far? Millions of years.
Evolution. They adapt to their they adapt to they adapt to where they're at.
Swazi, can I ask you to explain your username, please?
It's just Swazi. What do you mean by explain? I had this username for a really long time.
So
It's
there's no deeper meaning behind
no,
it.
no, it's just my name. You can look it up. It's just my name. I've had this it was like a game. It was like a game that I used, and it was just like I've been using it for as long as I can remember. So
Okay, I just wanted to double check.
mhm.
It's the name of it. Yeah, it sounds a little like something else. So I just wanted to double check.
All right.
Okay, so what I don't think I understand. Were you saying that humans are smarter than animals? That's why it's morally acceptable that we use animals without their consent?
Well, actually, humans. Well, some animals have senses, but obviously, you're saying use them without their consent. We're really realistically exploiting them like that.
Yeah.
Um,
What do you think
we're not
exploitation is?
taking advantage of something, or yeah, taking advantage. But
Yeah, it's to use
And
someone unfairly for
are
your
you,
benefit.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Don't you
Sorry,
think
Lori.
we're doing that to the animals?
can you repeat that?
Don't you think, or what we're doing that to the animals?
No, we've been doing it for millions of years. If we want to, we've been doing this for millions of years, and it's become really normal now. So I don't really get
I
why
want to be
vegan.
clear. You just said no and then yes in the same breath.
But
Well, I
here's my
said
thing: if we've been doing it for millions of years, and we're sitting here, we're vegetarians, vegans. We've also uploaded to where we don't need to do this. We don't need to do this cruelty. So, like you said, we've been doing it for millions of years, but now we've been doing it for so many years that we have other resources. We have developed to where we have other resources where we don't have to do this. So, how do we justify continuing to do cruelty when we have options to not do cruelty? I
well,
mean, you just said it. We've been doing it for millions of years, so we've learned how we have negatively impacted animals. And on top of that, we've also learned other ways we don't have to.
people aren't really up to change like that. I would not want to switch to a vegan diet at all. I would want to stay with my regular meat to meat
No.
diet.
How do you know unless you give it a try?
I have
I'm
given it a
living
try
proof.
multiple
Actually,
times.
I came here. I was a meat eater, and I was very curious about the vegan diet because I wanted to be more open to a cruelty-free life. I talked with these people. I've been eating plant-based and I'm happy. I mean, I was as carnivore as it gets. I mean, extra meat sauce on my spaghetti, but I mean, it's not like I don't know. I'm just saying that I'm living proof. It's not that people don't want to change. Obviously, people want to change. There's one, two, three people, four people here that have changed. And there's probably many more. Maybe not right here in this space and time, but there are.
100 million of us and growing.
Exactly. I just joined. Like, dude, I don't
Yeah.
know that I'm sorry, that argument is very false because people are changing. You say that you don't want to do it because you enjoy your meat. Have you even tried vegan options and seen how it literally tastes the same? I
Uh,
had my
Um,
mother try a vegan chicken sandwich with coconut bacon, and we both looked at each other and we were like, somebody's lying. This
yep.
can't be a
Yep.
vegan sandwich. At
Yep.
least try it. That is what we're at. That's all vegans really ask of you. I understand there is some extremism when someone is telling you you're murdering, oh, I'm sorry, you're unaliving, you're hurting somebody. I understand how that's like, oh my God, in your face. But you have to like calm down and understand where that message is coming from. We're worried, we're concerned about these animals.
Well, it's that too, but it's not it's just not going to cut it anymore. Animal agriculture is not sustainable, and we're seeing that in all the things that are happening right now in the world with the atmosphere, and it's getting worse every year, but it's just not sustainable. And they're saying by 2050, majority will be vegan, and 2070, the majority of the world will be vegan. So it's going in that trajectory. That's the way it's going, you
And
know.
in all honesty, I have met so many vegan people I didn't even realize were either vegan or on a spectrum where they were cutting out meat sources. Like,
Yeah.
I was just sitting at my job and I was eating a vegetarian dinner. They're like, "What are you eating?" I was like, "Oh, I'm eating a vegetarian tortellini." And they're like, "Oh, I'm a vegan." And another person was like, "Oh, I'm a vegan." I'm like, "Oh my God, there are so many vegans in this room right now." Okay. Hi, people. But to address the comments, speaking as someone that has came from a Christian home, people saying, "Well, Jesus put these animals on the planet to be eaten for us," blah 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 blah. He also put plants.
Yeah.
He also put
So
plants. You have a choice.
yeah, so we have four people waiting. So what exactly did you want to talk about, Swazi? Like,
I I'm just I well like you guys have said, many people don't want to change, or many people are not used to change like that, especially since
Swazi,
the fact that
Swazi, we're
yes.
only talking to you. So why don't you change?
Well, I don't want to change, and I see,
Why?
and the thing is, because the thing is, I see many ingredients in many vegan.
Swazi,
Yes,
do you
yes.
enjoy that animals suffer for you to eat them? Does that make you feel good?
Well, what do you suffer in many slaughterhouses? They neutralize them really quickly before they can
no,
even
they
kill them.
don't.
Yes,
No,
and
they
Swazi,
don't.
many modern,
They
Swazi.
don't. Even with bolt guns, they miss.
Even if they did, let's say that they did have this perfect unaliving, right? Didn't feel a thing, didn't know it was coming. Is that fair to somebody who wanted to live?
Yeah, and don't you think they know where they're at when they're in a slaughterhouse? Don't you think they can hear the one in front of them and all the way down the chute? Don't you think they can smell the blood? Don't you think that they can see their buddies? They can. That's why they try to turn around or jump out because they know what's going on. And that's what you're doing to them, Swazi. Hell, I wish I could go out and arrest everybody that has meat on their plate. I really wish I could, because you have no right to take another thing's life, a person, an animal, nothing. You have no right.
Well, if the goal is zero animal suffering, then veganism doesn't solve it. Plant
No,
farming also kills wildlife.
Swazi. We went over the definition of veganism. It's not about harm reduction. It's a principled stance against the exploitation of sentient beings. I'm saying I don't want to give my money to somebody who's going to oppress animals. So that's what veganism is. I'm going to take the effort. I'm going to take 20 minutes to figure out how to eat, and it's going to take maybe a month to start practicing my habits, right? That's all. That suffering Who suffers more? You going through that learning for a month, or the animal that has to be forced into a slaughterhouse? Who has it worse?
I guess. Well, let's think.
Who has it worse?
The animal, I guess, but
Right. If you were the cow, if you were the chicken, the fish, would you want your oppressor to keep using you, or recognize that they don't need to use you, that you have the capacity to suffer and that you don't want to be used? Would you rather be left alone or used unnecessarily?
wait. I heard something. You
Would
called
you
okay.
rather be left alone
Just,
or used unnecessarily?
Wait.
yeah, just answer the question. Don't pivot.
No,
Answer
you
the
said
question.
calling all
Would you
animal
rather
use a
be left
question
alone?
ignores.
Swazi, if you can't
Well,
answer, we're going to
The
move on.
question.
well, you
Yeah, because
keep
there are
asking
other
me.
people waiting.
Yeah, Swazi, I'm going to give you one more chance, and if you can't, I'm going to kick you. Would you rather be
Well,
left alone or used unnecessarily?
I guess I'd rather be left alone, but you keep asking me
Yeah.
multiple questions, and I'm trying to answer them, but you
You
keep
did. You
on
just
doing
answered
more and
it. So
more and
what do you
more and
think
more.
the animals want?
I guess the animals would want to be free.
Right, they want to be left alone. So why don't you grant them that same mercy that you would want?
I don't think of animals as I think of humans.
That's
That's
not
the
what I
thing.
said. Why don't you grant the same mercy that you would demand?
The thing is, I do care about animals, which is why I support humane
Why
farming.
don't
But we
you
have
from
to
now
recognize.
on, why don't you from now on actually respect animals instead of using them? Why do you have to use them when you know you don't need to? Oh, I was trying to unmute you. I'm sorry.
Well, granting the same exact mercy we give humans
I
ignores
didn't say
reality. All
it's
animals.
it's
Well,
not that they're exactly the same, Swazi. I don't value my neighbor, okay? I don't care that they're human. I don't value them. I value their sentience. That's all. That's the moral baseline. I just care that they're their own person and they're making preferences. And if I can avoid demanding their oppression, I should. Just like if someone wanted to oppress me, if they can avoid doing so, I would hope they would. So I'm acting the way I would hope my oppressors would act. You're the oppressor right now. You're not giving the mercy that you would demand. And you're using intelligence as the excuse. Do you
I
see the
mean,
problem? You're either picking an arbitrary trait or you're saying you're not part of my group and I'm going to ignore the fact that you're having a subjective experience and that you have the capacity to suffer. I'm going to ignore that because you're not in my group. Therefore, it's okay for me to dominate you. And I'm going to I'm going to think that you don't want to live as much as I want to taste you because that makes me feel better about dominating you. This is what you're defending.
sentience matters, but that doesn't mean all sentient beings are equal in moral rate.
I
A
didn't
cow and a
say
human
that.
both. You were just.
You don't need to value everyone the same. I just gave you the example of my neighbor, right? It doesn't matter your value system. I value my companion animal more than I value you. If you passed away tomorrow, I hope it doesn't happen, but if I found out, I'd say, "Oh yeah, that sucks." But you're not going to affect me at all. If my companion passed away, that's deeply going to affect me. But that's my value system, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about moral baseline, right? I recognize other beings have the capacity to suffer, that they're their own individual, have their own purpose. They care what happens to them, just like I care what happens to me. So if I want that respect, if I demand that everyone respect me, and I don't want to have a conversation with every single person I come in contact with, right? I don't need to talk about my morality and what I tolerate. They should just know I'm a sentient being. All sentient beings want to avoid harm. I don't want to be exploited. So why should you be allowed to do that to someone else when you wouldn't tolerate it? Why is it okay for you to oppress others when you don't want to be oppressed?
Can we stop with this? Someone refers to a.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Your
not going through his
is
brain. He's not getting it.
Yeah.
Well, my
Just
thing is
It hasn't
the
clicked yet.
reason why so many people use the someone, a person, when they describe an animal is because the reason we're pulling them down to human level is because when they're already at animal level, you don't value them. You
right.
value them less than ants.
It's not even that we're like, I'm not anthropomorphizing them. They literally do experience emotions. They care. They do care what happens to them. I'm not even exaggerating what they experience. There's evidence of this, you know. These animals want to live. They feel fear. They feel joy. They feel all these emotions, you know. They're really much more similar to us than most people think. And
Yeah.
and all that matters is sentience. Like, I don't care if a human is a different shape, different color, if they're covered in hair and can't stand upright. I don't care. If they're having a subjective experience, you know, that means they're making preferences, and all sentient beings prefer to be comfortable and avoid harm.
Right.
And you know, we all yearn to be free. Nobody wants to be enslaved. I brought this up last time too, the Mad Max example. Sorry, A, I do see you up here. I appreciate you being silent for a minute. But the Mad Max example, right? The women, there was a group of women that were enslaved, and you could argue they were treated better than the rest of that population, right? They had food, water, comforts, right? They even had nannies to care for the babies they were forced to have. But they didn't like being a slave, even though they were high welfare. They wanted to leave. Even in a vast desert, animals are very much the same. They don't care how much care they get. They would prefer to be free and left alone. A, I appreciate you being patient. Are you over 18?
Yeah.
Oh, Lori, do you want to add something? I'm sorry.
No, I'm fine. I was just gonna say, yeah, I brought her up. She's
Yeah.
been waiting.
Yeah. Thank you, A. Are you over 18? Oh, unmute yourself. I can send you an invite, but I can't unmute you.
Okay, am I unmuted?
Yeah. Are you over 18?
Yeah, I am. I'm 22.
Right on.
I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, like, my keyboard popped up, so hopefully I don't get kicked. If I do, could you maybe add me back? Because I've been waiting for like an hour.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I want to answer your question first. But like, I do want to just ask, just because, like,
Like a
do you
clarifying.
think that morality is like subjective or objective?
Subjective.
Okay, so basically why I'm asking that is, like, for example, I know that you said you're not religious, but maybe like a religious person might have a different morality, like
Are
a
you?
way of a moral compass, right?
Are
Yes,
you?
I am religious.
Okay, that's
I like to say I'm not religious, but I have a relation with God. So I don't base my whole life based off of religious things, but I base it off of things that I don't follow just the religion because it's a religion. I follow it because I follow God.
That's fine.
So, anyways, what I was saying is that I do think that morality can be subjective based on the fact of, you know, someone might, even some human beings don't value human life. That's why we have like rape, or I don't want to get in trouble, sorry. Rapists, murderers, stuff like that, right?
Another word is, sadly, TikTok is so picky. You got to say schmurder, or you got to like.
Sorry, I'm like never on live, so I don't know.
No, that's okay. I don't blame you. It's really goofy anyway. And honestly, there's not even a list to actually know for sure. It's just bumping into walls. So like, basically, my live just gets taken down randomly, and that's how I learn what words are not okay.
Yeah, sorry. So, anyways,
no,
basically, that's why we have like people who.
So just say, like, I just wanted to
do bad things.
Oh, that's okay. I'll let you finish. I just wanted you to be prepared. You can say unalive. You can say schmurder. You can say schnazis or schmittler. Like, you can just make it sound totally different to say your point if you can't think of something else.
Yeah.
So go ahead and say your point one more time.
It's like just hard to like forget like when you're naturally speaking, you know. But anyways, I'm sorry.
Fair. No, you're fine. I don't personally care. It's just that the live might be taken down. That's
and I'm not trying to like get you in trouble.
Yeah, I didn't.
So that was an accident. It was just like it's just like naturally speaking.
What would you like to know? What would you like to know, eh?
Please.
So my reason why I asked that is just because for my moral justification is that I wouldn't say it's necessarily moral. It's just that, do you believe that like I matter and I'm able to survive, right? You think that my life is important. So I've never been vegan, but in the beginning of the year, I do a religious fast, which is called the Daniel's fast. It's a month long, and it's basically vegan because the only things I can't eat meat, I can't eat cheese, I can't eat any animal byproduct, I can't eat. We have to eat fruits, vegetables. We have to limit the sugar we eat and also process things. So when I was eating, I tried to do a lot of vegan options because, you know, they don't have animal byproduct, but they have a lot of additives in them. So my question is for someone who has like a gluten intolerance or is
Yeah.
diabetic.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of vegan stuff has a lot of sugar in it or has sometimes
No,
gluten.
you're talking about just processed foods. You look up the vegan Daily Dozen. It's a whole food based checklist. It's just an easy checklist to make sure you get everything you need in a day. And it's
No,
super
I
simple.
understand there's whole foods as well. I understand
So,
that.
this is a diet that you could eat purely without eating any of those vegan meats.
No, yeah, that's great. But I'm saying, what about like the things that do include gluten
Don't eat it
or?
if you don't want it.
Just have
Well,
to look at the label.
I don't have a gluten intolerance. I'm asking SCO. I didn't know that.
If
Like, not
someone
there was
wanted to
no
be
things.
vegan and they have a gluten intolerance, go vegan and don't eat gluten.
Yeah, they have it on there. Let's
Okay,
list.
and then so my other question is that, do you think that plant protein is the same as animal protein?
It is. There's actually studies on it. If you match up the amino acids, plant protein, animal protein, it doesn't matter the source.
It's the same, yeah.
I
Okay,
was just
and
gonna
then
add what you were saying about like, what if there's gluten in it? What if there's these additives in it? There's so many vegan options out there that you don't even notice. Like until I looked on like specifically on like my Walmart like search bar, I didn't even know we had these things in the aisle. There's so much available. You might not realize it. I would just say literally just go onto like Walmart or Kroger, wherever you shop, and just search up vegan and figure out where it is in the aisle and you'll see there's a whole bunch there for you. There's gluten-free stuff, there's salt-free stuff. And a lot of these additives that we're worried about, we eat them almost every day in some variation. So there's like things that can break those down. Look at nutritionists that aren't nutritionists, quote unquote, that don't even have a
I
degree.
understand that. I'm not
So
trying to
just
interrupt you,
do
but
your research.
I do have a few points I'd like to just get across. Anyways, my next thing was about like, I know that a big part of veganism is like the exploitation. That's the whole point of it, right? You guys are trying to lower the exploitation of animals, which I
Or
100%
eliminate.
agree.
I want to liberate all animals from all human caused exploitation.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
that's
aim
not
for
realistic. Like, you
activists.
guys have to start somewhere, right? It's not going to
Yeah.
just
You
be
know where you
switched.
start?
So
Or
my
do
point,
you
my
know where you
question is,
start? Do you understand where you start? Start with yourself.
I would just, if
You
we could
live
just
the
not cut each
change.
other off, maybe if I could have
You
one point, please.
No, I will cut you off. It's my life. If you can't handle it, I understand. It
No,
does
I
come
can
across as
handle it,
rude.
but I just think
Okay.
it's like, it's not progressive and we're not like, we could both get our points across. We don't need to cut each other off because I just have one question. Like, I
Something
can handle it. It's just not progressive. We're not going to get anywhere by doing that.
that month that you have to eat vegan or that you can only eat fruits and vegetables and hardly no sugar. How do you feel within that month if unless you're not doing it right?
Well, I was actually going to mention that I felt fine, like I wasn't dying, but I did have lower energy and there were things and of course I feel like as you are a vegan longer, of course you're going to learn, different foods you can eat and ways to do it a better
Yeah.
way. So of
Right.
course I
Yes.
don't expect in a month to be a pro vegan because I wasn't trying to be vegan. I wasn't doing it to be a
Right.
vegan.
I
But
understand.
that's essentially what the diet was. Is it's a vegan diet. You're not eating any animal byproduct
Right.
and you're cutting back on like preservatives and additives and stuff like that. So my next question was if the exploitation is what the problem is, right? We understand that. I also
Can I be
agree
clear
that
for a second, though?
animals.
The processed stuff is not veganism. Veganism is just purely a principled stance against the exploitation of sentient beings. So you do you, just leave sentient beings out of it. That's all veganism is. It's not about health, just to be clear. Please continue, though.
So my point about the exploitation is that you mentioned like we could when we're in the supermarkets, we have other options like fruits and vegetables, stuff like that. So do you believe that like migrant farm workers are exploited? Like for example, like in California
Yeah.
or like most of my friends' families and stuff, they've actually like gone through that. My in-laws' families as well have been migrant farm workers.
Yeah.
They don't get treated well. They get underpaid, and they
Absolutely.
often have like their like not documentation status, but they
Oh,
always have
yeah.
that
Even
held over
that,
their
especially
head.
right now in America. Yeah, it's
So
terrible.
they have that held over their head often.
Yeah.
But we keep them here as exploited labor, and people are okay with having them here to do labor. So my question is like with fruits and vegetables, like a lot of that labor does come, majority of our fruits and vegetables do come from migrant workers. Like, that's a fact. And migrant workers are not treated well. They're also exploited, and they're human beings being exploited. So what's the like moral justification, not just on your end, but just in general with that?
So when I'm demanding crops, I'm not demanding enslavement of individuals. We can improve crop farming and take away exploitation. We can grow crops without exploiting someone. Is that the reality right now? No. There are definitely people being exploited to manage our crop fields. But what I can do is reduce my pull on that by going vegan, because the animals that you use eat more plants than a person does. So I know it sounds counterintuitive, but when you eat plants directly, we actually reduce how many plants are brought into existence that need to be managed by people.
Okay.
So so any issues with crops are going to be compounded when you use animals. So that made worse, you know, because there's immigrant workers that are exploited not just for crop farming, but also for the animals. And since most of the crops are being fed to the animals, that means most of that exploitation is on animal ag.
And then my next question is like, so for example, like in third world countries, like where they're poverty stricken. Because I have a dog. I have 2
Well,
dogs.
I
I
want to
love
be
my dogs.
clear, when we're talking about other populations, it's really difficult and honestly really cringe, because they're not here to defend themselves. And you're going to kind of monolith them, right? You're going to say, poor people do this. And
Well, I didn't say
it's
poor
not,
people. I said third world countries where they
okay,
might not have the same
third
options
world
as us.
country people do this, right? That's a generalization. And again, they're not here to defend themselves. So I only want you to speak from your experiences and your obstacles. I will go over any of your obstacles. But if that's not your situation, like, how can I talk to you about it when you don't even know what they're going through, right?
Well, I actually do know what they're going through because
Talk
I
about
haven't.
just your experiences. I will absolutely talk to you. If you're in a fringe case, I will talk to you about that, because you'll tell me what you're going through and what your obstacles are. But when you talk about a mythical group of people, right, you're
Well,
not
that's like kind
talking,
of
you're
that's
not
disingenuous to call them
talking,
a mythical group of people. I mean,
look, I'm going to kick you because I don't think you understand what you're doing, and it's really cringe. It's called tokenizing. And you're going to use them as an excuse for you to not make better choices. And that doesn't look good. I feel honestly a little embarrassed for you. You shouldn't use other people as your excuse. You should focus on yourself. Did you guys want to say something?
I just didn't like the way that we're talking about animals, and then she goes, oh, well, there's workers that are being exploited. And like,
Yeah.
we know that, of course we do, but we're focusing on the animals. Talking about those workers is a whole other live debate, discussion, and ultimately protest, because it is really bad right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just feel like that was a use of deflection to say,
Absolutely.
well, humans are more important than animals. We need to focus on this more.
Yeah.
But they're both equally very important.
They are. And there's actually a lot of people advocating for immigrant workers. And there needs to be more, of course. But there's even fewer people advocating for the animals. So, and on
Yeah,
top
it's
of that,
called stop paying the billionaires extra money and
Yeah.
start giving it to the people who work on this,
Yes.
planet that
Yeah.
work, to help their families, not just to make more money.
Inequality is a
Yeah.
huge part of it, for sure.
You ready? You ready for your next person?
Yeah,
or?
please. Yeah, throw them at me. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
Oh,
in case, when I
yeah,
mute
please.
myself to speak, it may be a little loud. I am making Beyond Meatballs for lunch,
Nice.
so it might be a
Well,
little
just
loud.
mute yourself.
Yeah, you can just mute yourself, but if it's too loud, we'll say something. We'll be like, oh, I can't handle how loud it is. So, yeah, I'm sure you'll be fine. All right. Panop. I can't pronounce that. I'm so sorry. How do I pronounce your name?
That's all right. It's Greek. It's Panoptes.
Panoptes. Welcome. Are you over 18?
Oh yeah, I'm 24.
Right on. How do you morally justify your animal use?
Okay. So I'll preface this with I have plenty of experience working with animals. I own generally throughout the year anywhere between 20 and 50-ish chickens, and I'll eat them. I eat eggs all the time. They're a great food source. I love it to death. I have
So
worked
is
on
this your moral
a cattle ranch.
justification? Is this your moral justification, or are you just telling us about your life?
No. This is my my preface, my moral justification. This is
I don't need a
the
preface. Just
showing of experience.
what is
Okay.
your moral
My moral
justification?
justification is that they're made out of food, and we farm them for them to be eaten.
Okay. So I want to farm humans because we're also made out of food. Is that moral?
Probably not.
And is it moral
Is it moral to eat people? I mean,
to
it's generally
farm
not
them?
accepted. No.
Is it
What,
moral
to
to farm
farm
them?
them? To farm humans? No. But you're
Why not?
arguing that
I agree
people
with
and
you.
animals are equal, and they're not.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm just purely asking if you think it's moral to farm humans.
Okay, well, we've established that I don't.
Okay. I agree with you. Can you tell me why you think it's immoral?
Why it's immoral to farm people? Because
Yeah.
they're people.
Okay, that's begging the question. Why is it immoral to farm humans?
I'm not sure how else to explain
that's
that to
fine.
you.
That's fine. It is kind of a weird question that we're not really presented with that often. So I'll put it this way. Why should I respect your autonomy or your preference to be left alone?
Because
Why
I have
do
the
you not want to be used?
ability to enforce that. Like,
Why
why
don't
don't I
you
want
want
to be used? Because
without
I
your
don't
consent?
enjoy being used without my
Right.
consent.
Right.
No, I would
You
not
would
want that
prefer to be
happen
left
me.
alone, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Or at least have your consent considered, right?
Previously on Dance Moms.
I guess. I don't see where you're going with this.
Okay, so if you care about what happens to you, right? What do you think about like other humans? Like, let's say a human can't speak and has lower cognition. Can we exploit them?
I mean, they're generally not exploited. Like, what do they have to
Right.
give you?
I'm more asking about, do you think it's right or wrong? Not what happens, but do you think it's moral to exploit someone who has low cognition and maybe can't speak?
No, that would not be moral.
Right. Do you know why?
I mean, that also sounds pretty obvious to me. They
Right,
can't
so-
advocate for themselves. Like,
Well, it's not so much that, right? You just said you don't want to be used because you want your consent considered, right?
sure.
So it's the same should be for other people, right? You shouldn't do things to them unless their consent is considered, correct?
Okay.
And let's say that human can't respond, so you have lack of consent, right? Does that mean you can do whatever you want to them?
No, not legally at least.
So then what is it that morally separates the humans and animals in the respect that I can't farm humans, but I can farm animals? What makes it morally acceptable to do it to animals, but not to that human I described?
Because since the beginning of time, like even before we were human beings, we were eating animals, And
Matter now. What
there's
morally justifies it right now?
what morally justifies it right now. They're made out of meat, and I'm going to eat it.
Humans are made out of meat. So what is the morally relevant difference between animals and humans that makes it okay to farm animals but not farm humans?
Okay, a chicken cannot talk to you. It cannot say, "Hey, please don't do that."
This human cannot talk to you. Is it okay then?
Okay, but you're trying to draw a parallel between a human vegetable and
No,
a
I
chicken.
didn't say human vegetable. I didn't say that. I said someone with lower cognition. Is it moral for me to do
Okay.
that?
No, it's not moral for you to take advantage of human beings.
Is
But they're
it
not human
because
beings.
let me give you an answer because it sounds like you still don't understand. If you were in their situation, the human that has lower cognition, would you still want to be respected even though you can't communicate how you want to be treated?
I don't think that the parallel that you're drawing here is
Okay, I'm going to move
relevant.
on if you can't really understand what I'm saying because it's pretty
It's
simple.
not that I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, you don't understand why we
it is very
respect other
simple.
humans. You can't even tell me why we respect other humans. So it tells me you're not really prepared for this conversation. Like, why do we
Animals
have
are
human
food,
rights?
lady.
Why do we give rights to humans? I don't know what you said that
Because
made you laugh
humans
so hard,
deserve
but
rights.
why do humans deserve rights?
They're human beings.
So you're just saying it's your group.
Yes, we'll go with that. If that
Okay.
satisfies
So
your...
I'm gonna repeat again. So you're saying I don't care that you have the capacity to suffer, that you have a preference to live, to keep going, to avoid harm. I'm gonna ignore that because you're not in my group. Therefore, I can dominate you. Is that moral?
Correct.
So
Yes.
doesn't that sound like other isms, like racism? You're not part of my group, so therefore it's okay for me to dominate you? Or sexism?
Also,
You're
yes.
not. So you think those are moral?
No, they're not moral, but
Okay,
the
that's what we're
parallels you're
talking
drawing,
about.
absolutely, it sounds the same.
That's what we're talking about. I'm saying that you're using in group to justify denying someone their respect.
Yeah, like, okay, you're still...
Okay. Still confused on human rights, I see.
And I love how he says, well, chickens can't say no. If a chicken is pecking me or starts screaming or runs away from me, it's saying no
Yeah.
in its own chicken way.
Yeah.
It's setting a boundary. It's an animal, but it has a boundary.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. We do see when animals say, I don't want this done. And, you know, if we were in their situation, we would want that sign to be clear. Hey, I don't want this. And for it to be respected. Oh, they don't want this done to them. We shouldn't do it. They clearly are not consenting. Yeah. But we ignore it. I actually one time had a question up here that said, if animals could, I said, if they could say no, would you still use them? And people got kind of confused. They thought I was just talking about humans. But when it came down to it, when we finally got to the point that we were talking about animals, they still said I would still continue using the animals. Almost every single person said that. Even if
And
the animals could vocalize. It's just...
It gets to a point where I just don't understand. It's just so immoral to a point, like, I don't know why you would want to do that. If, like, especially what you're saying, if an animal could look at me and be like, hey, please don't turn me into bacon today, you know, just eat some Morningstar bacon, dude. It tastes the same. I think I'm gonna go with that. I'm not gonna unalive that thing.
I'd be careful with Morningstar. They do sneak dairy and egg in there, but they do have some good vegan products for sure.
Don't tell me that. I just bought Buffalo Wings from them.
So there are lessons. You will make mistakes, and it's okay. You know, I still mourn when I make mistakes. I still feel terrible because I know what just happened. You know, but we live in a non-vegan world and there's a lot of obstacles. You can only do to your best, your actual best, right? If you genuinely don't want to do something, you'll put that effort forward and you'll learn from your mistakes. I've bought products where I read the ingredients afterwards and I've learned my lesson from that, where I'm like, oh, I'm going to read this when I'm in the store now because I don't want to give my money to those people.
And I was telling you how I was like slowly deducting meat from my life to like slowly transition. Yeah. But like I also this morning I completely was like, I'm done with dairy because I had poured my milk. I was eating my cereal and I got this string, like a string of milk. It was like a fatty milk. And I'm like, oh my God, I just thought to myself, this is a clump of different milks from different cows.
Yeah.
And it is in my bowl and I am eating it. This is a mixture of other cows' fluids. This is not just one cow. This is, oh my God. I was like, oh.
I mean, even worse.
I actually puked.
Even worse.
I was so grossed out.
What's worse though is do you know what happens in dairy? I don't know if you've actually gotten to that part for the dairy cows.
I haven't. I'm still with the pigs, but I'm guessing that they forcibly like either inject the hormones that help them lactate or
Oh, that's not even the worst part. So what happens, you could actually watch Dairy is Scary. It's only 5 minutes and it's free on YouTube. But what's inherent in dairy, small farm, big farm, really nice, comfy farm, the cow is a mammal. She has to be pregnant and have a baby before she can produce milk. So where do you think the babies go?
straight to the slaughterhouse. If they're male, if they're female, they'll probably try to exploit them for more milk.
Yeah.
It's just so gross to me. I mean, even like now, like as I think about it, like my mom, she was like, we were at Auntie Annie's and she handed me this pretzel dog. She was like, you want some? And I'm like, this is a mound of flesh from different animals composed into a pretzel. And I just sat with that thought and I was like my nose smelled it and it smelled good. My brain registered it and I'm like, I got sick off of the smell.
Yeah. Once you know what it is, you smell cruelty. That's what cruelty is. I mean, we're brought up, vegans don't hate flavor, you know. All of us have, I've only met like 2 or 3 people that were born into a vegan environment. So most people are brought up thinking that animal products taste amazing. And so it's not that vegans go vegan because of taste, right? It's because they recognize that exploitation and they just don't want to support it.
To comment on taste though, people don't believe me when I say this, but a lot of vegan like alternatives, to me they taste better than meat. If that, I feel like I don't know if it's
I
the
agree.
flavor or if it's the moral. It just tastes better, and it honestly feels better to eat it because I just know so many like I remember eating steak and shrimp. You can feel the tear of the tendons. You're ripping fat from bone. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
my God.
No, exactly.
And knowing that I can bite into a quote unquote steak and not have that feeling of flesh tearing in my mouth or bone, it makes me feel better. Like I can't.
Yeah. I actually make the point that, you know, if someone was to go to a country and rescue a bunch of dogs from the dog meat industry, right? That person is a hero. Let's say they save like 10 dogs, right? That's so many dogs. That person's a hero. One person, though, going from an omnivore diet to vegan can save or prevent 100 to 300 animals from going through that system. That's 10 times to 30 times what that one person saving 10 dogs did. That's huge. So
I feel like oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
Oh, no,
off.
you're fine. I was just saying, like, you're saving at least 100 to maybe 300 animals this year, and that's ginormous to them. That means everything to them.
And I feel like the negative critiques that come from veganism is because of how extreme we can come off at times. I say this all the time. Like, we are telling people, you are being immoral. You're doing something wrong. This is unaliving. But, like, you have to understand our level of thinking. We're not, like, we're not trying to hurt you. We're just saying, like, please stop. Like, you're hurting these creatures. You're hurting the planet.
Yeah.
And that's why it comes off so extreme, because it is extreme, but you're not at the level where you can understand it. So I try to, when I try to talk to people about my experience, I try to be as soft as possible and tell them, like, dude, it's okay. It's okay. Like, I'm not mad at you for eating meat. We've all done it. You just didn't know the process of how it got to your table.
Yeah.
I have somebody. I didn't know how to
Oh,
get
that's
up
okay.
there.
I brought him up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I did want to just say, never mind. I forgot my thought. But I'll remember it later, Princess. There was a point I wanted to say to what you just said. Jess, is it Jess?
Yeah, Jess works.
Okay, Jess. Are you over 18?
I am 35.
Perfect. How do you morally justify your animal use?
So my stance is, I believe that vegetarianism minus dairy, is no dairy.
Okay.
From a moral standpoint, eggs would be a weird one. It would be only on a small farm personal level, coexistence.
Fish?
Not. It would be my stance on eggs. Because poultry farms are evil.
What about fish?
Fish, that would be a weird one for me, because I would believe that fish exist on a different thing than, your normal higher order mammals like cows and stuff like that. There's a little bit less data on fish than we have on the higher order mammals.
We do know
So
that they're sentient.
I would not know.
Oh, there's evidence that they're sentient and that they feel pain.
All right. As I said, I believe you. I just don't know. I guess
you should look into this for sure. There were studies on like zebrafish where the zebrafish were put into these like a tube that goes into 2 different tanks, and one is barren. One had a bunch of recreational things for fish to swim around. The fish went into the barren tank, and then they went into the tank with all the recreational stuff, and they stayed there. They did the
Well, yeah, some
testing.
fish are ridiculously smart, and I think it'd be like a per
Oh, so
thing.
there's
Like,
more. There's more.
yeah.
So the next time that they were put into this tube, some of the fish were given a serum that caused them to feel pain, and they put a pain reliever in the barren tank, right? Not the other tank. So the fish swim down the tubes. They go into the recreational area, and the ones that were feeling pain go into the barren tank, and they don't go to where the recreational things are because they're relieving their pain. So we do know that fish feel pain. They've also looked at their anatomy. They have what are called nociceptors, which are the nerve endings that we have in our flesh that tell us when we're experiencing excruciating pain. The fish have the same. So when we rip them out of the waters, we're suffocating them, or we're shoving sharp objects in them, or we're beating them, and they feel it, all of it.
My moral stance on fishing is pithing only would be my thing, and not anything higher order fish. Like sharks have advanced social structures and stuff like that.
So
I'd never
let's
eat a
say
shark.
I go to the park and I am able to capture squirrels, and I shove them underwater until they can't breathe and until they suffocate. And then I take them home and I cut them up and I eat them. Is that moral?
No, you tortured the animal.
So what do you think is going on with the
sensation
fish?
of
You pulling them out of their area where they can breathe.
let's say I'm pro. I would be on the stance of pithing if I was a fisherman.
I'm not sure what pithing means.
Pithing is as soon as the fish is removed from the water, it is immediately the entire nervous system is shut down immediately.
Oh, that's not what happens. Fish
Why is that
feel
not what
pain. That's not what happens. Fish do feel pain once they're out of the water.
No. Pithing is you immediately drive a spike through the nervous system through the spinal
So they're
cord.
still
It's
suffocating until you're able to aim your
Yeah.
spike and then shove a spike into their brain. They're still suffocating and suffering.
There's a time between our breaths that we could
So
be considered
let's
suffocating.
say I grab squirrels now and I shove them underwater, and while they're under there, I take a big spike and I shove it in their head. Then I take them home and I clean them and I eat them. Am I moral?
The process of capturing the squirrel in that thing would be the removal of their would be the immoral act would be the moment
How do you capture these fish?
Yeah. I'm saying I don't know about fish, man. Fish are
How
weird
do you
for
capture fish?
me. Most people use, I think, netting is the most common in the industrial practice.
Do you think that feels good?
Of course not. No one likes to be caught up in net.
Is
As I
it
said,
fair?
I don't
Is it fair to the fish?
fair in the fish, and
Yeah, what does the fish want?
fish wants to be a fish.
Yeah, they want to be left alone and live their life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is it then that makes it okay to do this to fish?
I don't know.
Why do you do it?
I don't eat
Why
much
do you
fish.
do it?
Okay, what animals do you use? I mean, you said you don't eat much. That means you do eat them. So that means that in those moments, those few moments, you still think
Right.
it's acceptable to do this to them.
Yeah, do you go catch your own fish or you buy it at the store?
I don't. I only go to like ethical restaurants if I do
What
it
is an
at all.
ethical
As like I
restaurant?
probably won't. An ethical restaurant
really,
would be
what's an ethical
yeah,
restaurant?
and that's going to be a philosophical argument. I guess so. My view on consumption of meat for me is, for instance, I'm poor. I have a lot of disabilities and stuff
No,
like that.
you'll be excited to
25
know a vegan diet is actually cheaper.
Can $25 buy me $2,000 worth of vegan food?
I don't know.
'Cause
I
I
don't
can
know
do
where
that
you
with meat.
live. What I can do is point you to a whole food plant-based diet, which is the cheapest things in the store: beans, rice, local in-season fruits and vegetables, canned fruits and vegetables, frozen fruits and vegetables.
$25 buys me a year worth of food.
Okay, so go look for the plant-based versions. Like, let me put it this way: Do
$25,
hold on? Look, Jess.
$2,000.
I don't care how much it costs you. The point is your motivation, and then you decide what you want to do from there. I'm not going to sit here and arrange your life for you. It's whether or not you want to demand animals be used for you. If you were the victim, let's say you're in the cage, someone else is going to use you and they don't need to, would you rather they stop or just use you anyway, knowing that they don't have to? Which would you prefer?
And if I could come in here to, oh, I'm sorry, my thing keeps freezing because I don't know when people stop talking anymore.
You're fine.
Okay, so on what he's talking about affordability, I will say when COVID happened, my dad, he whole bought beans and rice that we can turn into so many different vegan dishes. I mean, there is tons of canned food in my house that is probably going to last us eons, and all of that is vegan. It doesn't have any sort of meat product in there. I can even make my own pea protein or soy protein with the right knowledge and the right usage. And because these are dry goods, yeah, they can last you, and they could last you more than having to take a piece of meat and throw it to the ground with salt and hope that it, like I'm saying, in this predicament that you're putting yourself in, where you need this food 2,000 years later into this future, where you need this food this bad for years to come. You don't have to worry about refrigeration or salting your food so it stays reusable. I mean, in all honesty, veganism will be more sustainable to you because you'll be able to get more food for less, of course, and be able to extend it because things like beans, rice, tomatoes, and stuff, they're filling. So you'll be able to portion even less and save more money.
I probably have like 200 pounds, oh, sorry, 100 pounds of rice in my house. Now, I love rice and beans. My diet consists primarily of rice and beans and pasta because that is the cheapest, longest shelf life, affordable item. I was simply stating that a $25 hunting license, one animal taken, is $2,000 worth of meat.
So
And
this
that is
animal that you're taking, I'm assuming you
right.
mean like a wild animal, right?
A wild animal, hunted ethically, yes.
Do you think that's fair to take someone out when they're just in their home minding their own business?
In a world in which I have unlimited
No.
resources, no.
No, just okay. So you do have other resources.
I personally cannot afford a lot of the
You
substitutes
can.
and also things
You
like
can. You haven't even
there's no
looked.
replacement for my medicine.
You don't. Okay. The point is the choices you do have, you can change those. If you have to take some life-saving medicine, I will encourage you to keep taking your life-saving medicine, but you should be aware of what it is you are doing, even in a
Correct. We should
necessity
always.
situation. So your medicine may be tested on somebody like a beagle. I don't know if you know that. They test medicine on beagles.
Yeah, I'm
Because
against
do you know
animal
why?
testing.
Do you know why they test on beagles?
Probably the same reason they sometimes test on pigs is there's some biological
No, it's because beagles
reference
are
to
trusting.
people.
It's
Yeah.
because beagles are trusting. They trust humans. They naturally have this inclination to trust us. So they breed beagles because they're easier to deal with. Does that make
Yep.
you feel comfortable that we're
And
forcing
then
medicine down their
I'm
throat until
against
they
animal testing.
right?
And
Okay.
then again, to add to what you keep saying about this affordability or cost, I picked up for you, 86 cents for the black beans. I mean, I can make black bean burritos. I can make burgers. I can stir it with some soybean product or something and make freaking spaghetti. I mean, you can do so much with it. Like again, you're saying this over and over, and you just told me you have a disability. So how accessible would hunting be when you get older? I'm coming from a person that has a disability myself. I don't know how good I'm going to be with a rifle in a few years or right now. I'm barely standing as it is. So me being able to go and pick up some beans, I think that'll be much easier for you. And again, 86 cents that you can turn into like what, a million different dishes?
90% of my diet is beans, rice, and
So what's the point
pasta.
of arguing over and over about the affordability cost when I just debunked for you that being vegan can be more affordable, and because you have a disability, even more accessible, so you don't have to hunt for your food to be even more ethical?
Because $25 is way less than $100, and I get
let's say let's say let's
$2,000 worth of
say
food.
that it actually is going to cost more than that. Let's say you have to spend an extra $30, okay? Let's say
Yeah.
you're the animal though in this situation. Would you rather that your oppressor try to cover the cost for the other alternative, Or are you going to just accept that they take your life and be like, oh, you know what? Even though there's that alternative that you still could afford, but you don't want to bother, I guess you can take my life. What are you going to accept?
Because again, we did say that it was affordable.
But I mean, but even in the scenario, I want to steel man your argument. Let's say that it is more expensive for you to live vegan, right? Or your oppressor. It's more expensive for your oppressor to live vegan, but they have an option. Would you rather they go for the alternative, or would you just accept that they're going to take your life?
I don't think I can answer that question in a way that is acceptable for this live.
You can say, I would rather live, because all sentient beings would
The thing is, I
prefer to
wouldn't.
live. You're being disingenuous then, because I guarantee if anybody was to come at you with some sharp object, you would defend yourself, and rightly so, because you matter. You care what happens to you, right? So if someone wanted to exploit you, they better have a really good reason, or they better stop, right?
Correct. I concede the entire concept of eating animals. I would concede the entire concept of eating animals from a moral standpoint.
Right. That's all we're talking about. That's all we're talking about.
But I
That's
don't
it.
understand the replacements for wool or things like that. That's where my
Why?
morals start to, because you're living in a peaceful coexistence with an animal.
Do you know
that
why
you're
sheep
not,
don't drop their wool? You know why they don't shed?
because we bred them to be
We handicapped
dependent.
them.
Yes, we bred them to be dependent.
So
and I'm not okay with
we
that.
handicapped them, and we're using that handicap as an excuse to continue breeding them into existence. More individuals that are handicapped. We're saying, this individual is handicapped, so I must shave them. Let's make them have a baby that also will forever need human care so that we can keep shaving them. That's exploitation. You're not caring
How
about
do
the
we fix that?
individual.
How do we
You
fix
stop breeding them into existence. You stop normalizing using them. When you take their wool and you turn it into clothing, you're normalizing using them. You're saying it's okay to keep breeding individuals in existence because he gave me this fluffy shirt, or this fluffy coat, or whatever. And that's not okay, because if you were them, let's say you don't shed your hair and it just keeps growing. Would that then make it moral for me to exploit you because I want to make wigs and clothing out of your hair? I don't consider your consent on this. I'm just cutting your hair over and over again, and I'm making you have babies because I know they're going to have this same handicap. Is that fair?
No, and I don't think we should have bred them to be that dependent in the first place. But
Well,
they
if you
are
buy
now.
wool, when you buy wool, you're
I don't buy
telling.
wool.
Okay, if you do,
I
you buy any animal products, any leather, fur, feathers, scales, any skin. You're telling those producers, I like this, I want more of it. And they will. They send the next individual to replace what you picked up. That's called supply and demand. Your demand fuels the system. If you move your demand to alternatives, they'll make more of those alternatives. And in fact,
There's
if you
no
remove,
ethical replacement for leather or wax.
there is. If you remove soy and leather, we have pineapple and cactus leather. There's so many leathers.
Those don't act the same.
And not to mention, animal leather is very toxic. I don't think you know how detrimental animal leather is. They're taking something that will break down quickly and turning it into something that won't break down. How many chemical
Vegetable tan
washes
leather
that has
is
to go
very
through.
eco-friendly.
It is not friendly to the animals. They still want to wear their skin. They're using it, and you're taking their life just so you have fashion. How is that fair?
And an animal dies of old age, I should just...
He's not listening. I'm done with him.
No.
I'm sorry. I didn't ask you guys if you wanted to speak to him. I'm just...
No, it's okay.
We had
He
just
just
been
kept
talking
going.
so long, and it's
For
like
the
he's...
person in the comments, though, you can use recycled materials.
Oh, say it again one more time.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was just for the person in the comments who was saying, how are we going to stay warm in the winter? Use recycled materials. You know, there's jackets that are made from plastic materials for winter that you can recycle that are more ethical because you can literally recycle them and make more coats for people.
I mean, we have cotton,
there's
too.
so many alternatives.
We have...
Cotton. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Cotton.
We have so
and
many
then I like how
options.
he sits there and says, oh, I do not agree with animal testing. I'm cruelty free. Sir, you're advocating for unaliving animals. So how cruelty free are you?
You want me to bring up the next person?
Yeah, sure.
Or do you want to wait for a minute?
Oh no, you can bring him up. You can bring him up. Princess, I totally agree with you though. He was going back and forth. He kept saying, he was kind of talking out of both sides of his mouth, saying that he doesn't use animals, but he does. It sounds like he does use deer, and he's trying to say he uses all of them, but you don't even need to do that. We have all these alternatives. You're just doing it because you're getting entertainment out of it.
And that's why I changed my whole thing about how eating meat can be ethical for humans, because I'm like, we don't even need it. And the thing that I was talking about people that have allergies where they can't eat anything but meat. I honestly, they're doing science right now where they can make meat without having to kill the animal. So there's other sources, but people are like, oh, I don't want anything lab grown. You eat Skittles and drink Monster. I mean, really.
Smells in the queue now for you.
Oh, appreciate, thank you. But I agree with you, Princess. Yeah, thank you, Lori. Mrs. Snow Wolf, are you over 18?
I'm 47.
Right on. How do you morally justify your animal use?
I like to go deer hunting. We don't just unalive the deer and then walk away to the horns.
But what
We eat the
morally
meat.
justifies that?
That's what we use to feed our families and whatnot.
Okay. Do you have a grocery store?
We do, yes.
Okay, so then you have options?
Yes, we do that too.
Okay, so
Depending
then
on
what
what-
is the moral justification for unaliving the animals when you don't need to?
Because you have the right to do what you want to do, and we have the right to do what we want to do.
What does the animal have the right?
I don't tell you what you can't do, and I don't think you should be able to tell us what we can't do.
What does the animal want?
Do you think a bear cares about us when they slaughter us, or an alligator?
What do you think a cow wants, or a chicken, or a deer? What do you think they want?
I don't know what they want. They can harm us too.
You can't assume that they want to live.
Another thing, we are aware that bears have a different ethical moral code. They have survival instincts. Of course, if a bear sees me, it's probably not going to want to eat me, but it's probably going to see that I'm a threat. I'm not on their food chain list, but let's just say a bear does come to attack me for food. It needs food. That is its survival instincts. It's a bear. We're human beings. We don't have to unalive that bear, unalive that pig for food. We have other alternatives and resources. That bear doesn't.
They can eat plants too if they choose to do so, right? I just like to know what makes it if we're like, I don't like to wear fur coats. That's something I won't wear.
You're cutting out, Miss Snow.
And things that we just don't unalive them and then watch them. We run away. We eat them to give us nutritions. Now you can say.
So you care about their welfare.
Or you get that off of plants or makeshift. Huh?
You care about what the animals experience, right? Yeah. So isn't taking
There's
their life?
humane ways of doing it.
Isn't taking their life when it's unnecessary, immoral and unfair?
No.
It's not unfair to take someone's life when you don't need to?
Animals that we eat, we don't just unalive them and then walk away.
Is it fair to the animal to take their life when they wanted to live, when you could just eat something else? Is it fair to them? What would you want if you were them?
If I was needing to eat, you better believe I'm going to eat.
If you were a deer.
I'm okay.
If you were a deer and your oppressor was hunting you, even though they could just go to their grocery store, would you prefer that they Would you prefer that they hunt you anyway, or would you prefer that they go look for an alternative? What would you prefer?
An animal to do?
No. What would you prefer if you were the deer?
If I were the deer, of course I'd want to live, but unfortunately it's survival of the fittest. If we have to eat, and I want to eat. I like meat.
You don't need to eat the animals. We've already established that. You have a grocery store.
Well, you don't need to eat plants either. You don't need to
Plants.
eat plants either. You're
Look,
pulling them
Snow,
out.
Mrs. Snow, I understand you're getting upset. I'm trying to stay calm so that we don't get worked up, okay?
I'm not upset.
Okay. I'm not judging you
Ma'am,
on
I'm
your
not
past.
upset. You're the one
Okay,
getting
good.
upset.
I'm not judging you on your past. I'm curious why you won't move forward from this conversation, recognizing that animals don't want to be used and that you don't need to use them. I'm curious why you don't want to recognize
As an
that you could
example,
do
I'll give you an
alternatives.
example. If an
She's
animal is going extinct, I'm not going to touch them. I'm not going to touch
Do
them.
you care about
The
their
animal's going
capacity to
extinct. But there are
suffer?
cows up to the bun.
I'm getting a little frustrated. Does anybody else want to
She's
talk to her?
oh, sorry. She's no, she's MAGA. I won't talk to her.
Okay. We're just going to move on
Nope.
then.
I won't talk to her. Oh no.
I'm actually at the top of the hour. I might call it there. I do want to
Okay.
clarify, though, what she was trying to say is that she just wants to, and that she has,
Right.
she's might makes right kind of an argument.
Right. That's why she was getting uptight.
Yep. And it's just,
Everything
if she was in that situation, she already admitted she would rather be left alone, and then that made her uncomfortable. And I just don't know what else to say to her at that point. She needs to think about that. If she were the deer, she would prefer mercy. So why is she as the oppressor?
And again, I would like to add for the people in the comments agreeing with her, specifically babes, that is what I said. Animals act on their instincts, but we're not animals. We don't have to unalive animals. There's a moral difference. Like I said before when I first came to this live, yes, human beings are a part of the food chain that eats animals, but you have to admit the way that we have dominated it is a grotesque. It is slavery to these animals. It is torture. For no reason. For what? A chicken nugget? I could get the same amount of protein and still be healthy eating a plant-based alternative.
Yeah.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but you're honestly beating your own argument because you keep saying, well, we're not animals, we're human. Yeah, and humans have a different moral code. We don't have to rely on survival instincts.
Right.
We sit down, we create art, music. We are able to empathize with other creatures because we don't have to rely on those survival instincts that other animals do.
Yeah.
I'm aware that lions unalive gazelles or eat this or eat that. They're lions. I'm a person. I don't have to. I'm not in this fantasy land where lions are grazing with zebras right now. I am saying that we don't have to enslave animals for our food. The way that we have to go about eating our food is different from a lion coming out of zebra and immediately unaliving them, eating them, clean and done. They don't then take that zebra's bloodline, produce it, mass produce them for slavery to be unalived, to be tortured. I mean, I was just watching this documentary. They're not just processing your food, babes. They're taking out their anger of their lives on these pigs. I mean, I just saw them throw a pig against the wall because they're having a bad day. I mean, I'm sorry.
No, yeah, that's
I just don't understand.
So the point that you're touching on is exactly the issue. So any kind of farming, like we've said, the nicest, sweetest, biggest farm that only has a few animals on it, right? That farmer's only doing it to get a benefit out of the animals. They see that animal as a product, not a sentient being.
Yeah.
They're objectified. So even on these nice farms, they're not efficient. So that's why we've gotten factory farms, because factory farms are actually more environmentally friendly, surprisingly. They use less land, they use way less water, and they use less feed, and they get the animals to slaughter weight quicker. And that means they're even younger, right? So these animals that are in factory farms are that way because on these high welfare farms, they're viewed as products, and it's just a matter of, well, we want to be efficient. I want more money. We have to cut costs. So, and the environment is starting to suffer from all of this resource dedication. So factory farming really came out of these nice farms because we decided, even though you're a sentient being, you're a product that will benefit me. So it's just, once you see them as a product or an object, you demean their experiences, because you have to feel like what you're doing is more important. So it makes it easier on the oppressor to demean their victims into objects. And it's just a sliding scale from a small farm to a big farm. So even if we eliminated factory farming, right, the worst of the worst, these other farms, these more humane farms would not be able to feed the population. Because right now we only get 18% of our total calories from animals, yet we're dedicating 83% of our land. So if we got rid of factory farming, that means we're increasing the land use, right? Because we have to meet demand. So they have to increase how much land to make more room for all of those animals. So it's just, there is no sustainable way. There's no ethical way. There's just no right way to do the wrong thing.
And one more thing to address that person in the comments. These comments are killing me.
Oh yeah, they're
You
painful. I
can-
try not
they-
to read them because they're so painful
I'm
sometimes.
trying so hard because I'm
It's
like,
okay. Yeah, you go for it. You can respond if you
Why
want.
would you like? Oh my god! But they were saying you unalive bugs. Yeah, and what we don't do is then again breed bugs solely for our nutritional taste and value.
Yep.
And then we don't enslave these animals, torture them, throw them around,
Yep.
and have them.
Yeah.
Like we don't tear
They're-
off their. I mean, we don't torture these animals.
Yeah.
If they're in my house, I'm swatting them out the window.
Yeah, you're
But I'm
trying to
not
get 'em out.
breeding them for torture and for food.
Right. Exploitation is what we're talking about. And when they talk about crop deaths, I mean, even if you steel man them, which means to make their argument stronger. Let's say there are so many bugs, you know, just like a cloud of bugs above all these plants that are annihilated when we do crop farming. Animals eat more crops. So if genuinely we want to decrease our harm on sentient beings, you would still go vegan and eat the plants because animals eat so many more plants. So we're breeding all these plants and therefore all these bugs, right, are going to be harmed. So if you're worried about the harm you're causing, veganism is still in line with that harm. It's not the goal of veganism, but it's a perk that it does reduce harm. So if you're worried about all those bugs in the crop fields, you should stop demanding the animals that need to be fed those crops.
I'm sorry, I got distracted.
Oh, that's fine. So to sum it up, that's okay. That's great. I'm glad you're eating because you're eating that delicious Beyond Burger or Beyond meatballs, right?
They're so good. I didn't know what seasonings to put. So I just went insane. Like, I'm not even kidding. I use every spice in my kitchen. I use Lorraine's seasoning salt, lemon pepper, garlic pepper, black pepper, a little touch of paprika, and some onion.
Oh,
And
yes.
oh my god, I
Yes.
slathered them in some barbecue sauce. Thankfully, it was vegan.
Yeah.
I checked because I remember what you were saying about looking at bottles. I'm like, I haven't looked at this bottle.
Yeah. Most
I looked at
sauces
that.
are vegan though, but it is still good to check. Sometimes they sneak honey or dairy in there, so. it's
Oh,
always good
and
to check.
and because barbecue sauce, the base is like tomatoes and stuff. So I put basil and oregano in it. I'm dying over here. It's so good.
That sounds delicious.
It is.
Just to summarize what I was saying, just so you get like the short version, any issue with crops, any issue, fertilizer, land use, any issue with crop farming is compounded, made worse by using animals because animals eat more plants than humans. So bug deaths, animal deaths in the field, you know, fertilizer, like I said, runoff, that's all made worse by using animals. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to call it there. Yeah, I'm going to pack up for now. But I really
Okay.
appreciate you guys being here. You guys were amazing backup. I really appreciate you guys standing up for the animals. And yeah, I think this is a good
I
one.
appreciate you. You've helped me so much because honestly, if I would have scrolled, I probably would have been miserable in eating that animal-based diet. And you really encouraged me and gave me so many resources. I haven't yet checked out a lot of them, but I'm doing my research. I'm watching Dominion.
Your
I'm
heart's
doing
there.
what
I hear
gotta
it.
do.
Yeah.
I'm
I hear
ready.
it. Yeah,
But
you're ready. I
thank
love
you.
you can hit me up or Lori even. I pointed up. Lori's over there.
You
But you
probably
can
see it. I'm practically internet stalking you. I've watched all your videos, listening to like what you've been saying to people, and I'm like, huh. It's like really made me think and reflect. I mean, what we were talking about with our pets, like I said, there's no really way to ethically source, but I was like, I should still put the moral compass in and still give my dog his nutrients. So I did check his dog food brand. It's supposed to be more ethical than others. And then I've just cut out so much meat out of my life. And I'm so thankful for you.
No, and you know what, just to help you with your companion, yeah, definitely focus on yourself first. And once you get your habits down, you can look at your companion. There are vegan dog foods. You know, I would talk, if you feel more comfortable, you can buy a can, and before you feed it to him, you can bring it to your vet and ask, does this cover everything? There are like a bunch of brands. There's like Evolution and Benevo. They both are AAFOC, I think is the abbreviation. They have the certification that they meet all the nutritional needs for dogs. But I don't want you to get disheartened by it, because sadly the animal, our companion side of life, is also an industry, and it is also being taken advantage of. So I do understand there are going to be obstacles with companion animals, as a lot of people are taking care of even obligate carnivores. But look into alternatives and try them. That's what a vegan does, is, like you say, you're trying your best. You're trying to find ethical, even though we all know there is no ethical way to take someone's life. But I hear what you're saying. So focus on yourself, and then when you have the capacity, definitely look into vegan companion pet foods, especially dogs. Dogs are usually really easy to transition.
And in all honesty, I probably shouldn't have done it, but like my dog loves cheese, and I have plant-based cheese that I use for like my
Not good
salads,
for
and I
him.
slipped him a piece. He was drooling and just looking at me like, please, one more.
Aww.
So I think he
Don't
might
give him
like some of the
don't give him
plant-based
cow
stuff.
cheese. Cow cheese is bad for them.
Oh no, it was plant-based.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Aw,
Well,
that's so sweet.
let me tell you about this one. I think you wrote it down. You started at veganeasy.org.
Oh, yes. Tell us about that.
It's just like 22, Challenge 22, but you get 30 days. And they have a lot more options that you can do. It's the same thing. They'll help you find places where you live, prices, everything like that. But if you take a look at it, if you look at Vegan Easy, you'll see how many things that they have. They have all kinds of stuff that they'll help you with. It's bigger than 22. Yeah,
Thank
and
you,
you get 30
Lori.
days. Yeah, you get 30 days, and it's all free.
That's
And
exciting.
and a nutritionist, same thing.
Oh, that's so awesome. You've made my day, because I'm so sad. Yes. Thank you, Lori. Oh my gosh. I've been looking too. I don't know how I didn't see that.
Look into it. Just Google Vegan Easy, and
I'm going to do it right after this. I'm going to do it immediately,
you'll
because
see all the stuff that they do for you. Crazy.
Thank you, Lori. You're amazing. Thank you. Everyone, go follow these beautiful people. Go follow Lori. Like, she's amazing. She does great research, and she's on a lot of vegan panels. Please go check her out. She has a great background. She can relate with a lot of backgrounds. So she's an amazing activist. And then follow Princess Pank. I almost called you Prank. Princess Pank, our new vegan. Really excited to have you up here. And I gotta say, I'm very impressed that you've only been doing this a month and you're already up here advocating for them. It took me 5 years before I started to step up. So you're already better than most of us.
Do you see how fast it's like changing? Do you see how fast it's changing? It's from you 5 years ago, how much it's changed already, and how much it just continues to change.
I mean, how have you seen it? You've been vegan 25 years.
Oh, yeah.
The drastic difference.
Yeah, big time.
Because I've been listening to like your, in all honesty, I feel like what speeded up the process is these resources like you that are here advocating for these animals, and I can hear the voice in my head from these people and your voice coming back to them like, you're still unaliving a creature. So I'm just,
Yeah, you're right there with us. You're vegan. I can hear it. Yep, you're vegan. You're just, that first month is just learning things, right? You're going to bump into some obstacles, and that's just how you learn. Yeah.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm happy.
Right.
I mean, like I said,
you seem like the type that could go up and talk to somebody just at a supermarket. If you see him buying meat or something like that, you could talk to him so easy.
I've done that.
Oh my god,
it's a little awkward, but it works.
I felt so bad. I was already becoming one of those vegans, vegetarians, plant-based. I was eyeing this lady. She was grabbing chicken wings. I'm like, okay. Okay.
Yep.
Just leave her alone. Let her eat her chicken nuggets.
I actually was putting stickers on products for a while, because you can go on Etsy and there's these stickers that say like this package has a body part in it, or these are my favorite. They have QR codes that say like 30% discount. So the people scan it and it actually takes them to Dominion, so they can see the section that they're like. So this sticker that I'd put was for eggs. So this lady was looking at the eggs and she was scanning the code because she wanted 30% off on her eggs. And it shows her on her phone directly the section of Dominion where they're shredding the baby boys because they don't produce eggs. And I went up to her and I told her, I said, this is what they have to do, in order to make eggs because they don't lay eggs. And the way that they're born, they're half male, half female.
Product.
Yeah, so it's an unavoidable waste product. But so it's kind of, if you did want to be adventurous but don't want to be on camera, that's one way. Or you could just talk to people like Lori was. That's actually even a better way.
I mean, it's not hurting anyone. Like I said, a lot of us can come off of it as extreme, but this is just educating people. This is where your food comes from.
Yep.
I just hate how people are like, well, it's not my fault. I'm like, yeah, but now that you know, what are you going to do about it? I'm not blaming you. I'm not mad at you. Of course, why would these brands tell you? Because after watching this, I'm not eating ham. I'm not eating ham, and I'm not calling it ham. It's a body.
Yeah.
It's a living thing's body.
Propaganda.
Say again, Lori.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's just all propaganda. Everything they say, cage friendly or cage free, grass fed, it's all a lie.
Yeah.
It's all a lie, and they do that to make you feel better when you're purchasing something.
Funny enough,
and someone said that we must all be liberals. Yeah, babes. I didn't vote for the Cheeto duster.
Oh yeah, no.
And I like my abortion rights. So yeah.
Same.
I like my rights. Period.
Period. Exactly.
And I don't like seeing and I don't like to see religious commercials. There weren't any, and now there are religious commercials.
Yeah.
I just hate when
I don't think that I should have to watch that.
No.
I was raised in a Christian home, but I'm honestly slowly coming out of it because I just don't like how the Christian community handles things, or even how they put themselves into things that they shouldn't be a part of. Like people protesting abortions because Jesus was born from God and he knew you before the womb and that all stuff, and protesting LGBTQ. I'm like, we've done so much damage to so many communities, and how strong Christianity is. We could be feeding the homeless. We could be giving homes to the homeless. We could be making these sanctuaries that we were talking about for these animals so they don't have to be unalived. But instead, we're sitting here at LGBTQ rallies screaming because there's a guy in a skirt.
You might like the documentary Christspiracy. It's not a debunking of religion, but it does talk about the animal use in religion, and specifically Judeo-Christian religion. Yeah. But it does go over some other religions as well. It's a great documentary. You should check it out. Christspiracy. I'm pretty sure it's free.
I'm an ex-Christian for a reason.
Same.
Oh, and real quick, someone in the comments just told me the best news of my life. I will not have a husband. Guys, I will be free. I won't have a Christian husband to tell me that I have to stay home. I'll get to have my own career,
freedom,
educate myself, and have kids when I want to have kids, and not when my husband tells me I'm supposed to have kids.
Yes.
Right on.
Blessed day, all.
Yes.
Thank you so much for cursing me. Oh my God, I feel so great.
Lori. Yes. Okay, guys. Did you want to add something else? Sorry, Lori.
Go take a look at that Vegan Easy. Yeah. Take a look
Vegan
at
that. Easy. We're all going to go look at it.
Wednesday at 3 or Wednesday in the morning?
Let's do Wednesday in the morning. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to do Wednesday 9 a.m. and we'll see how that feels. We'll test it out. All right. So I'll see everyone Wednesday, and if not Wednesday, Friday, and if not Friday, I'll see you again Monday. Oh,
see ya. See you soon.
See you, Princess. Thank you for coming up again. Thank you. You're amazing.
Bye.
Yes. And thank you to all my vegans in the chat. Thank you for
It's my pleasure.
Yes, thank you. And then also all the non-vegans, thank you again for being here. Even if you're still resistant, thank you for being here to hear something that maybe challenges your thoughts. I'd love to talk to you next time. I see there's 2 in the queue, but I'll see you next time, okay? You guys have a great vegan day, and yeah, see ya.